Hello there and welcome back to the Agostinho Zinga Show with your host Agostinho Zinga, and this is episode number 863. That is Ocho Seis Tres of the Agostinho Zinga Show with your host Agostinho Zinga, and I'm so happy to have you here with me today. Thank you for joining me. How am I? All good, all things considered, I cannot complain. All good, all things considered, I cannot complain. I've got a jam-packed day full of tasks, full of errands I've got to run, gym, return something to the store, get packing for my big trip to flipping Berlin on Thursday, and all of that malarkey. I'm looking forward to it. And as you can tell, I got myself a new supply batch order of skincare coming. That's why my face looks like a mirror right now. That's why I look like some sort of mirrored ball, you know? I got a new batch, a new re-up of my Korean skincare, and I am glistening. Well, it's not Korean skincare, but it's skincare that I use in the Korean skincare way. It's just skincare products, but using the Korean, you know what I mean? So yeah, I got all that serum. I got all that flipping snail mucus on me. I got some vitamin D or vitamin C on me. I think vitamin C. I got some moisturizer on me. I got some oil on me. You get me? I got some tone on me. I got bare thing. That's why my face is looking mirrored. My face right now is looking mirrored. I'm looking mad. I'm looking crazy. You can probably see yourself in the reflection of my forehead. Definitely, you can definitely see that. So I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. I'm prepped. I'm ready to go. I'm charged up. As they say, I'm charged up. Anyways, today's show is jam-packed. Today's show is absolutely diddly packed. And for today's show, a very rare occurrence. I don't usually drink fizzy drinks because I'm a little baby and my little stomach can't really handle fizzy drinks. But today, because it's a charged up episode, we're going to go for something that I don't usually drink, which is a Pepsi. In honor of Wings of Redemption, we are going to drink a Pepsi, not Tetsi, a Pepsi. A Pepsi gets me tipsy. We're going to drink a Pepsi in honor of Wings of Redemption and in honor of this supercharged The Agostinho Zinga Show, episode number 863. Wherever you are, hope you're having a drink with me too, or whatever you're doing. Take a big breath. Let's freaking go. Okay? Cool. Oh, lovely. Whoops. I'm one of those guys that has like I remember my mum used to always say, do you have a hole under your chin or something? Do you have a hole under your lip? Because whenever I drink stuff, I always leak, it always leaks. Unfortunately, I'm not a spitter, or no, I'm a dribbler, I guess. Is that a thing? Dribbling? I don't think so. Anyway, regardless, we're back with like Cook Crack. So happy to have you here today. We got so many things to cover today. We got cultural stuff, we got fashion stuff, we got football stuff, and we got all the other stuff in between. So grab yourself a drink, whatever you're doing now, hang back, relax, and let's just jump in to the show, please. Let's just jump in to the show, please. First things first. First things, blood clot first. Can we give a big shout out, a special shout out to my girl, Bonnie Blue? Can we please give a shout out to Bonnie Blue? As some of you guys know, I've been following this whole Bonnie Blue, Lily Phillips thing for a while now. And it's now culminated in like Bonnie Blue finally doing that 1,000 guy gangbang thing. The odd thing is, I'm thinking Lily Phillips was the one that was meant to do it. It was meant to be a Lily Phillips thing, but she never really followed through on it. I get the feeling, looking from the outside in, that 100 guys thing that Lily Phillips did, the 100 guys gangbang, I think that broke her. She tried to put a brave face on it after the fact, but that interview that she did, I think with Joe or some platform that she did an interview with, I forgot the YouTuber, please forgive me, but whoever she did an interview with, when she kind of broke down in tears, and she basically said, oh, I'm not breaking down in tears because it was hard, I'm crying because I was so upset that I didn't fulfill my promises to the guys who came, I didn't, no pun intended, I didn't give them the time that they needed, something like that. She felt guilty, which is obviously not true. I'm sure that was part of why she was crying, but another part was also because she probably didn't, she probably realized in that moment just how difficult that 1,000 challenge would be, because I think the 100 people took a lot out of her. But she hasn't said nothing. And then out the blue, no pun intended again, Bonnie Blue comes out and does the 1,000 guys thing. So I'm wondering, Are they in competition? Did Lily Phillips tell her girl, like, hey, don't worry, you go forward. I'm going to sit this one out. I can't handle this sort of shit. I wonder what happened, because Bonnie Blue is like going full steam ahead. But I have to be honest and say this. I love Bonnie Blue. I love Bonnie Blue. I love her because she's really making people second guess or reconsider their attitude around sex workers. Because everyone's like, you know, trying to basically, everyone's very encouraging when it comes to women involving themselves in sex work. And when I say sex work, I say anything, even OnlyFans selling like feet pics, right? You're in that kind of world. They're very encouraging of it, but they're only encouraging of it when it's palatable, when it's easy, when it's like, okay, you're like the bad baby girl. You sell some titty pictures, you sell some pictures of you in maybe lingerie, and you make millions. Or maybe some feet pics like Lily Allen, and you make hundreds of thousands. They're okay with that, but they're not okay with the extremes on either end. The extremes on one end is that you put up your titty pictures and you don't make any money. That must be super depressing. If you're a girl and you start OnlyFans and you make zero money, that must make you feel like absolute crap. But on the other end, there are like turbo sluts, turbo whores, like Bonnie Blue, who are real to this. They're not new to this, they're real to this. It's not on them, it's in them. You know, pun intended their way. It's not on them, it's in them. And I think Bonnie Blue's one of them. She's a special breed. Not a lot of them exist, I'm sure. Especially in women. I think in women's world, you know, a woman like that who's like openly very promiscuous and seems to like gangbangs more than she likes to have sex individually with one person and whatever, and kind of, you know, gets off on the attention. There's probably not a lot of girls like that, but they do exist. I just find it weird that people are thinking she's going to corrupt people. She's going to corrupt kids. She's going to corrupt girls. And it's like, come on, man. To be fair, if you're a parent and your child decides, you know, Bonnie Blue is their hero, Bonnie Blue is their North Star, as Brenda Shaw would say, then you've probably failed as a parent. You shouldn't blame it on her. But if they do decide to get into that kind of work, aren't you accepting of all things? Aren't you open-minded? Aren't you like okay with, you know, women having agency and be able to call their own shots? Because this is an option. Not every woman can go out there and become like an entrepreneur and have like a, you know, a business selling things, services, products and shit. Sometimes the easiest thing to do is something like this. It makes a ton of money. It sets you up for life. It provides for your family. If you're okay with it and you're healthy and you're doing the right things, I'm all for it. I champion it. But I just love how people are getting so like bothered by it, are getting their panties in the bunch that this lady is, you know, going through with having consensual sex with, like, you know, some of them are barely legal, don't get me wrong. That's a bit sketch, but, you know, there's double standards in this world. Because if a guy did what she did, she'd get cancelled all over the place. But because she's a woman, she's blonde, blue eyes, she looks attractive, everyone kind of turns a blind eye to it. It is what it is. Anyway, all that to say, all of that preamble, all of that waffle to say this. This person on Twitter called Spencer posted this video. I don't know where this video is from, so don't ask me where it's from, but it looks like it might be from Snapchat based on the caption. But this person, Spencer, posted this video with the caption that says, "Getting turfed out of a Bonnie Blue meet and greet by your birth mother has to be an all-time low." Let me put it full screen and let me press play. I'm assuming there's a kid here whose mum turns up at the time that they're going to do the Bonnie Blue thing, and she pulls her kid out of there, which is a whole nother thing. Let's watch the clip and see what happens.
Shagger. Do you want to wait there? Because it's obviously, you probably don't want to see it, do you?
If you get me more annoyed.
He's coming now, he's coming now.
How old's your son?
He's 19.
Oh, he's just...
I don't care how old he is. He lives under my roof.
No, that's fair, that's fair.
You have to listen to me.
Do you want to just see?
I want him to come on, please.
Don't let him walk through there, Ollie.
Otherwise, I'll get the police to come for him. You know I don't joke to call police already.
Shagger.
Did you hear that? So this woman, she sounds Caribbean. So I'm gonna say she's black. She sounds Caribbean. She rocks up to a Bonnie Blue gangbang. This is a typical Bonnie Blue scene where all these kids are in the hallway with ballies on, waiting to fuck Bonnie Blue, and she has to wait to get her son to come out, but her son isn't coming out yet. and it's a weird little awkward interaction. Oh my God, bro. When I was a kid, right? When I was younger, getting that phone call from your parents when you're at a house party, or having them pull up outside somewhere, or seeing maybe a friend of yours having their parents pull up to a house party and drag them from that rave mid-wine, kicking and screaming, was horrifying. Horrifying, especially because you knew you were probably out past your curfew too. Absolutely fucking horrifying. I can't imagine how horrifying it is for both parties. For the mum to turn up to like a gangbang meet and jeet or meet and skeet to get her son out of there, knowing full well all those dudes on that stairwell are fucking horny. They are raging. They are ready to go. They're ready to bust right down that door. And although she's a mum or whatever, you're there and it's that weird energy. You're probably going to put some of those kids off. You know, you're probably going to make them like not want to follow through on what they're doing because you've kind of ruined the mood. Because maybe you also remind them of their own mum. You also might be feeling like these kids are looking at you like you're a piece of meat because they're in piece of meat mode. And then for the guy himself, for the kid himself, having to like what? Pull up your trousers or quickly bust because your mum is outside. Oh, no, man. No. What a crazy situation. And it's also funny, the majority of kids, there's some kids out there that don't have bellies. This guy's got his hand over his mouth. But it's actually incredible the amount of kids that are there with shiesties on. The shiesty is fucking hilarious. Going to one of these bang things with the shiesty on to protect your identity so no one knows that it was you. So you can go and smash Bonnie Blue for like 5 minutes and duck. Is wild. I wonder how many people she gets, like repeat people. I wonder, there must be a lot in it. Repeat guys who go there quite often. Whenever she puts up a post, they go again. Because I don't even know how they find out. Do they find out through Instagram? Do they find out through TikTok? Does she have like a blog? Or do you have to subscribe to her OnlyFans? I wonder how she alerts people to like these things. How does she alert them? And I'm sure there's definitely repeat customers. Because the Ballies, man, every kid there most of the kids there on the stairwell have a bally or have a shiesty on, have their hoods up, and they are not trying to they're not trying to be seen. But the annoying thing about shiesties and those kind of things, if you know the person, you're gonna recognize them regardless. If you know the person, you're gonna recognize them, bally or not. You're gonna recognize the shape of their head, their, you know, how they walk, how they stand. You just see from their eyes, their eyebrows, their, you know, whatever. You just know straight away that's your guy. That is Hassan. That is Jerome. That is Tyrone. That is Muhammad. You know what I mean? You know straight away who those guys are. So, oh my God, man. Oh my flipping God. Big up the young kids out there doing this nonsense. I don't think I could ever done this, even if I was this age. Or because I think you have to be at a certain age where probably sex is pretty hard to come by and you're still figuring it out. I don't think even at that age I could do it. I honestly don't think I could do it. I really don't think so. I have too much shame. I have too much embarrassment to put myself in this type of a situation just for a quick little, you know, couple of strokes and shit. Because it's not even like you're getting any time. You're getting, what, 5 minutes maybe at most? And it's timed as well, I'm sure. She's probably got, maybe in the beginning, you could probably, you know, push it. But I think now, because of the demand and how popular she is, they probably have a systems and protocols and step to make sure that, yeah, it's 5 minutes only and then you have to go. I couldn't do it personally, man. I really couldn't do it. But big up the kids that do. And super embarrassing for that kid that got pulled out there by his mum. How the mum found out he was there as well is a madness. But I guess, you know, if you live at home, most likely these type of things are impossible to hide. But how the mum even knew he was there is wild. Him having to go down there, to walk out. It's like a different kind of walk of shame because your mum's pulling you, you know, out of that fucking place by force. You're probably getting shouted at all the way home. She's screaming at you on the bus, or screaming at you on the bus, screaming at you when you're walking down. You're telling her, mum, chill. You keep telling her chill and she gets more mad. Woo! She might slap you in the back of the head, twist your ear, pinch your thigh, knee you, give you that knuckle thing my mum used to do back in the day, the little knuckle thing in your fucking muscles. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Then you get home and you're grounded. Then she tells your dad and makes him angry. Then you get beat some more. Madness situation. So hopefully the bus was worth it. Hopefully the bus Hopefully, the bus was worth it. I want to also big up Justin Bieber. I want to big up Justin Bieber for doing something that most men could never ever do. Most of us normal, regular civilians, average everyday Joe blogs, you know, blue collar, working class, middle class civilians could never do what Justin Bieber has alleged to have done. According to Popbase, Justin Bieber has unfollowed Hailey Bieber on Instagram. And if you're confused, Hailey Bieber, formerly Hailey Baldwin, is his wife and also the mother of his child. And he's unfollowed on social media. Could you imagine ever being able to unfollow your missus on social and it not be the end of your relationship? Because I have a feeling this might not even be an indication that they're getting divorced. They just might be like a branding thing, a cool thing, you know? I'm Justin Bieber, I don't follow my wife, I live with her, da 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 da. But imagine a regular guy, imagine you, regular guy out there, unfollowing your girlfriend, unfollowing your wife, unfollowing even the mother of your children. How that would go down. That would cause World War III in my life. World War fucking III. Unfollow. What? What the fuck? That would cause drama like no other bit of drama I've ever seen in my entire life. But I also love that if this is true, or if this isn't true, first of all, I love that this is also a crazy way to announce to your wife that you don't want to be with her anymore. Imagine unfollowing your wife before you serve her divorce papers. So she finds out that you're getting divorced before she gets divorce papers. Maybe she gets a notification on her phone. Maybe she follows some of the Justin Bieber stan pages or her own stan pages. They post this at a certain time, but then she only gets the email from her lawyers about the divorce after she saw the notification. So technically, she found out through social media, then actually through the courts or through her lawyers or through you directly. That's a wild way to go. But also, Justin's been on a weird one anyway. I've been keeping my eye on his drama with Hailey Bieber from afar, and I've watched some videos, but it's just, some of it's been a little bit too parasocial and gossipy. But the basic premise of it is this: like, allegedly, everyone's been saying from the jump that Hailey Bieber loves Justin more than Justin loves Hailey Bieber. And allegedly his eyes always been wandering, and she's done everything in her power to keep him there, which meant, you know, dressing like his ex-girlfriends, and all this other mad stuff. And if you see the pictures and you see some of the science some of these YouTubers have been doing, although this sounds pretty, you know, pretty crazy and out there, when you actually see some of these actual pieces of videos and information, it does actually make sense. So this has been the current thing going on. And then there's clips that people have been seeing of them out and about where it looks like Justin Bieber is always annoyed by Hailey Bieber's presence. She seems to just get on his nerves by default or just breathing. The way she moves, the way she stands, it just seems to get on his nerves. He just doesn't seem to like it. So that seems to be one of those, you know, one of those common traits kind of running through. So I guess this is like a long time coming, because people have been saying, yeah, he doesn't like her or something. Then there's been weird stuff like him, you know, very publicly creeping on, like, who is it? Sabrina Claudio? No, Sabrina Carpenter, sorry. Sabrina Carpenter's Instagram, leaving her some, you know, comments or something. Liking pictures of other young pop starlets and shit, which is, you know, you'd imagine if you have a wife, even if they're celebrities, it'll probably, you know, put you in a spot of bother. But it seems like he doesn't give a fuck. And usually when guys stop caring, is usually when they want to break up, but they're not brave enough to say it, you know? Especially I being a guy, we've always been in that position. Guys are pretty pussy when it comes to breaking up. We'd rather have the girl, you know, get to the point of where she hates you and then wants to leave you, then you just say, you know what, I'm kind of bored of this, I want to go, I want to do something else, I want to see other people, or I just want to break. We're usually the type of person to push someone to the point of leaving them and hating them. But I guess Justin Bieber finally decided to lay it bare and be honest and be like, you know what, I'm just going to unfollow you. Hopefully you get the message, and then we can go our separate ways. Hopefully you get the message and go separate ways. Maybe that's the whole long term. Or maybe this is all made up and he's just doing it just for, like, you know, celebrity shit. Maybe he feels like if he unfollows her on social media, people will stop crawling and creeping on his likes and blah blah blah. Who knows what's going on there? I just find it wild that he did it in the first place, because I know in my life, in my mediocre, meaty, regular, schmegular life, if I unfollowed somebody I was with, woo, I'd be in the fucking dog house with a capital fucking D. So big up Justin Bieber for doing something that most of us guys would love to do, which is unfollow our spouse, especially if they're annoying and they upload fucking crazy amounts of stuff online and they always tagging and shit. Like, that's one thing I think most of us would love to do, but we can't, so we have to live vicariously through Justin Bieber. So big up Justin Bieber for doing what most men can't. Big up him for doing what most men can't. We love to see it. Continuing on. Big up ASAP Yams. It was, what, the 10th anniversary of his death, I think, just the other day, which is pretty fucking crazy. So RIP to ASAP Yams. Absolutely dreadful, and, you know, still a loss that is felt by the fucking industry and the scene in general. I feel like ASAP Mob never recovered from the death of ASAP Yams, to be fair. And it's a shame, really, because I feel like there was a lot of potential. They had a lot of like room to grow. There was a lot of talented artists in that particular group who never really fulfilled their potential. And most of it, I think, came because of the death of ASAP Yams. He was really, oddly enough, one of the glues that kept that whole crew together. And if you listen to stories from ever members of ASAP, they basically lay it bare that he was very intentional with it. Like, he'd go out of his way to squash beefs between certain people in the crew, mend things, get people to talk, get people to collaborate, reach out to random people. You know, like Block Boy JB says he was instrumental in part of his success. Like, random people. And one of the other random people who's featured there is the shoe designer Amina. I forgot what her second name is. Is it Amina? Is it shoe designer? What's her name? She's Amina, who's also linked. That's it, Amina Muaddi. So Amina Muaddi is actually a shoe designer who's actually very close to Rihanna too. She's been styling and giving Rihanna a bunch of shoes over the years. But I didn't notice this until somebody else pointed it on social media, that ASAP Yams is actually standing in front of her. She's sitting down there in the back. This whole time, he was also plugged into Amina Muaddi. So he knew about her before she even probably started her brand. This is very early on, when she was just probably around in the scene and stuff. He was that plugged in. So this is the kind of person that ASAP crew had kind of been without. Do you know what I mean? They haven't had a person like an ASAP Yams around who was able to kind of weave the crew together, introduce them to interesting people, you know, have them just at the front of culture, have them really with their finger on the button and shit. That person doesn't exist anymore, unfortunately. And talking about existing as well, I also thought to myself, like, in culture or in the scene in general, I don't feel like people want to be ASAP Yams anymore. Like, that person behind the scenes who's just knitting things together, keeping the vibes a certain way. Everyone kind of wants to be the star now. No one wants to be the ASAP Yams, who's basically like the second in command in a way, without really being in front of the camera. You're the second in command. You're almost like a creative director without the celebrity of it. Because I feel like creative directors nowadays, they also want to be quite famous. I feel like Yams was like, you know, he existed in that kind of like not so famous, but also if you know, you know. But also he's involved in many, many, many things, from A&R to marketing to producing, you know, to just being an influencer, kind of public figure type person. That doesn't exist now. I feel like everybody wants to be the main character. Everyone's the main character. No one just wants to exist and be able to live a life where you get to wear cool shit. Like, for instance, like I don't fuck with Palace at all, so fuck Palace forever. But he's wearing Palace in 2014. This is very early on. This is probably around the time that I basically, or maybe I found out about Palace probably a couple years before this. But this is quite early on wearing Palace. Very, very early on being plugged into who Amina Muaddi is. You know, just being about and knitting all those things together is a very important and crucial part to anybody's success, and just to the success of a group, and just in general for making yourself a bit of a linchpin in the community. But I feel like no one wants to do that nowadays. Everyone wants to be the main star, which is a real shame, because me being the main star, being the ASAP Rocky of your crew, or being the ASAP Rocky of your own of yourself, is really difficult because there's not many of them. You have to be okay with letting the lead person lead, and you have to be okay with being a very important number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, but you have a very important and crucial role in the overall success of the individual, especially the main individual, and everything else concerning the group. So big up ASAP Yams for being that person. It's a real shame how it kind of played out, because I think recently I also watched a video about ASAP Rocky and that ASAP Relly guy, and that whole story around ASAP Rocky pulling out a gun on him, and him is, I think the trial's starting soon now. They're still deliberating on what actually happened. But essentially that was beef between two ASAP mob members. I don't think ASAP 12 makes music anymore. I saw a video with ASAP Ferg saying that ASAP Mob is over. ASAP Nas doesn't make music at all. He's just an influencer. So it's a real sad how the group kind of, it kind of died. Death of 1,000 cuts. ASAP Rocky keeps promising an album but never drops it. Great music videos, but the songs fucking suck. Like, and it's not his fault either, because he's literally married to the billionaire. So by default, he's a billionaire. So life is sweet. The hunger's not there anymore. So ASAP Mob kind of fell off and hasn't been the same ever since the death of ASAP Yams, which kind of speaks to his influence and to how talented and creative he was, despite not being a quote-unquote conventional artist. So RIP to ASAP Yams, RIP to ASAP Yams. Gone, but never, ever, ever forgotten. Big up the DJ Chase West. Big up the DJ Chase West. I'm still not sure if this account, not Chase West, is actually him, or if it's a parody account, satire account. Regardless, we're just gonna pretend the Tech House, or I guess you're calling it. I'm gonna call him Tech House. The Tech House DJ Chase West, not Chase West on Twitter, is actually his account. So let's go through some of these ins for 2025, because people are posting a lot of these nowadays, right? His first in for 2025 is home afters over club afters. This is a weird in to have, because I feel like home afters have always been in over club afters. Who wants to do, the whole point of going to an afters is that it's after the nightclub shindig. Why would you stay in a nightclub after the shindig? It's just a bit boring. Also, the lights are all on. It just feels a bit weird without anybody in there. Even if you're in the green room, you kind of want to go somewhere else. Someone's home, play some tunes, maybe pick up some more packets, whatever. Pick up a couple of ladies of the night, fellas of the night if that's your thing, days of the night if that's your thing. That's pretty cool. Everyone's kind of done that. And to be fair also, home afters, you get to cull the crowd a bit more. You get to be able to really be a little bit more, intentional and a little bit brutal when it comes to making sure that you can manage the numbers. So you end up purposely losing a bunch of people because you don't want people to come to your house. But in the club, it's close to, I'd imagine, it's close to, if not impossible, to abandon people because you're in a fucking nightclub, or to ditch people because you're in a fucking nightclub. But if you end up going home to somebody's afters, that definitely is an easy way to abandon somebody. And I'd imagine on top of that, if you're somebody that has the house as well, you want those people to go as well. You want to make sure you have a good little crew around you. And if you end up going, you felt way more special, and you feel like you've actually been selected if they allow you to bounce from the club to the home afters. So I think this has always been the case. It's always been home afters over clubs, in my personal opinion. 2025 in warmth. Yeah, I get that. I think maybe that's to do with going to clubs without a big jacket or something. Maybe it's to do with financial security giving you some level of warmth. But I'm good on either. I'm good on either. I'm not going to say I'm good on either. If anything, what I end up doing, especially if it's like cold and stuff and you don't have, the adequate clothing, nowadays, especially if I'm out and about, I just increase my steps and just get to walking way more than I would do if it was warm. So I end up walking to further to more stations to get to where I want to get to, instead of just jumping on a train to cut the journey short, just to kind of get me warm. Maybe run up the stairs when you're in the sun station itself. Maybe take the stairs if you go to an apartment block. All those little tiny things can actually help with your overall warmth, so you don't have to go out and be wearing flipping, tech fleeces and stuff to make sure you're warm in that, because it's not that warm. It's not that cold anyway, I'd say. But anyway, continuing on, his last one for ins is liking your ops. I'm not too sure about that. I think what needs to be happening for 2025, because I think liking your ops makes it seem like you're thinking about them. And one thing I think you should never do is let anybody think that you're thinking about them if you don't like them. That should never be something that you do. It should always be of oh shit, I have no idea what this guy is thinking of me. I can clearly tell he doesn't like me, doesn't rate me, but we'll be professional about it, and we're going to go from there. That's one of the worst things, one of the worst reactions you could ever get as a flipping footballer. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I don't know, man. I'm not really the biggest fan of liking the ops. I would rather they don't even know that I know they're my ops and just pretend like everything's cool. Or maybe pretend everything's cool. Just pretend like they don't exist and keep it going from there. But some interesting ins there, courtesy of the one and only Chassis West. Continuing on, we got this very brutal, very candid, very honest, and very cutting Twitter thread courtesy of Ava-Santina. And this is a really interesting way to look at how everybody reacted to the flipping CrossFit, you know, what's it called it? CrossFit machines in the gym and stuff. But in this particular thread, the funny thing that this lady does is that she calls out people, especially the Americans, who have been absolutely going crazy and crying when at first it was being floated that TikTok was going to be banned in the US. They did not like it at all. They were really freaking annoyed, really upset, and legitimately crying. And I've got video of some of these guys crying on social media, and I think it's terrible. I've always, you know, I've always said what my review is when it comes to terrible, you know, that sort of stuff. So you can only imagine what happens here. So in this particular thread, Ava-Santina says the following: TikTok closing in America really puts all that I work for myself baloney that influencers love to peddle into spotlight. App closed and you have no income. You don't work for yourself, you work for ByteDance with zero rights. She continues, true for sites like OnlyFans too. You create content for a company that makes money on it. That company pays you. You've recorded a you've essentially, yeah, sorry, let's read that again. True for sites like OnlyFans too. You create content for a company that makes money on it. That company pays you. You're essentially an employee, but you have no rights or basic employment rights. Think this will happen more of a conversation as more and more work moves online. As a content creator, you're at the whim of an algorithm, it says. That makes what often seems arbitrary decisions to promote or demote content reflected in the pay packet. In a traditional workspace, a manager couldn't one week to pay you less, sans explanation. So I think she's really on point with what she's saying. It's a bit brutal and a little bit harsh, but it is necessary to say, because there has been a bunch of social media chatter and videos I've seen of content creators on TikTok literally crying their eyes out because, you know, the ban could potentially affect their $100 million business they have going on. I think it's chocolate or something like that. I think one of those type of things. Or what else I was thinking to get? I forgot what else. But essentially, she made some really good points here on people basically being wrapped up on their whole TikTok thing and their whole income coming from it. And the moment that app goes away, you've got no other revenue stream, or you haven't you haven't been putting equal push or effort into those other areas, so that when one area goes, you're left with nothing else there, which I completely understand. But I also understand why they want to put it on there. So also, I guess we'll have to leave it there. I guess we'll have to leave it there and find out what they suggest to do. But the video of some of these influencers crying when they thought TikTok was going to be banned in the US is absolutely hilarious. I'll play a couple here for you too. These are absolutely wild. But to be fair to these people, allegedly, according to people on the social media, these people were getting paid upwards of, like, I don't know, 100,000, and some people were getting like $6,000 a year or something stupid like that. So allegedly TikTok pays very, very well, which might explain why these people are crying their eyes out on social media, which is a very abhorrent, useless, pointless, disgusting thing to do anyway, but they're doing it, so it must be really good.
It's really not fair that, like, they're banning TikTok, and I know it's dramatic as hell that I'm crying, but I just seen the video of the girl that made the renegade dance, and I'm crying because I read a comment that was like the algorithm saying goodbye to us. And I've been noticing that a lot over the past like week. Like, all the trends that came in the beginning are coming back. And it just makes me really sad because it genuinely feels like our parents just came in the middle of a school year and said, yeah, forget all your friends, forget all the hard work that you did at this school, forget everything that you did. You're going to have to start from scratch.
To be fair, that was always quite tough because I moved schools quite often too, but that was mostly because I grew up poor and we were living in council housing. At that time, my parents we didn't have permanent house, so we had temporary housing, council house, which basically means you have to move from place to place at the whim of whatever that property requires. So I had to change school quite often. And I'm not gonna lie, I quite enjoyed changing school. I quite enjoyed having like friends in different areas and knowing people from different areas. And then when you get older, bumping into them again, and people thinking, "Oh my god, how the fuck you know this guy?" You're like, "Oh yeah, one time I was in year 4 in his school for a little bit." I quite like that. To be fair, I quite enjoyed it.
And it sucks because it's like it's beyond TikTok dances. It's beyond all of that. Like, we have put Black culture on a stage that everybody can appreciate.
Jesus Christ, bro. Jesus Christ. The level of self-importance and delusions of grandeur is crazy. We have put Black culture on a... What? She thinks she's Martin Luther King out here, man.
Y'all have shown me things about psychology and my family and my friends and myself that I would have never learned in this life.
Well, maybe that's a bad thing for you. Maybe you should go and learn these things. Maybe you shouldn't be waiting for some person to say it in front of a green screen with some font underneath them in a really cutty way. Maybe learn some of these things. Maybe, I don't know, maybe read a book. Maybe, dare I say, read a book. I don't hope it doesn't sound intellectually, you know, whatever. But dare I say, read a fucking book.
Lifetime. Like, I don't really know. Like, and I know it sounds dramatic to say I don't know what I'm going to do without TikTok. But like, bro, I really don't know who I'm going to be without TikTok because...
I could never admit something like this with a straight face. I could never admit, even if it was true. Don't get me wrong. It's like losing your phone. You lose your phone today, or some fucking kid on an e-bike skirts past you and choop, grabs it out of your hand. You're going to be bummed, especially if you don't have any money or you have any savings. You're going to be fucking bummed. But am I ever going to be bummed on social? Am I ever going to cry? If I cried at home, am I ever going to stop, put the phone in my hand, turn it into fucking, you know, reverse the camera to the front facing camera and then start crying on call when I'm talking about it? Never happening. That is pure bozo behavior, honestly. That's a next level addiction to social media, honestly. Next level addiction. I don't know what I'm going to do about TikTok, you know. You're going to be all right, man. It's just a fucking app. You're going to be perfectly fine. You're fine before it. You'll be fine totally after it.
A large part of who I have become in the last 6 years, and a large part of my growth has come from a lot of the stuff I've learned off of this app. And I really hate to say goodbye.
You know what's funny, though? I do give her a little bit of credit, a little bit of a bly. I would say the one thing I would miss in social if it did go away are the cooking videos. I don't think I can sit down and watch a cooking show anymore. I think TikTok, social media in general, has completely changed how I watch recipes or how I cook with recipes. Well, if that makes sense. So if I want to make something, I might search for something on social and you find somebody making it and they will basically tell you how to make it within 30 seconds. So those things are now like really hard to watch, like a YouTube video that's like 6 minutes long about how to make a particular dish, when there's a girl online that's made that same dish and she put the video together and it's 1 minute 20, you know? So I think that's the thing that they've changed for good that I don't see ever coming back, you know? People just like being happy to, like, you know, show them off in that regard. So that's one person who was really upset about TikTok potentially closing down. Here's another TikTok creator crying as well.
And to the U.S. government, I'm never forgiving you for this. And I'm never going to trust you ever again because you just...
honestly, it sounds like such a baby. Bless this woman. Bless this woman. I'm never trusting you again. You know what, though? This is actually good. If you want to get politically involved and activated, or you're a bit apathetic to politics anyway, when politics impacts your everyday life, suddenly politics becomes important. I remember for me, one of the first times and only times I actually voted in the UK public elections was when the tuition fees in universities went up. I think originally they were like £1,000, then they went up to 3,000. Now they're like 10,000 a year tuition fee in the UK. And at one point, the Lib Dems, the Liberal Democrats, basically Nick Clegg, the leader of Liberal Democrats, promised if the young people voted for him, he would make sure that the tuition fees would stay or get frozen at $5,000 or whatever it was, $3,000. That's what he said. If young people come out and vote for me, I promise to keep the tuition fees the same. Guess what happened? He ended up winning, you know, the vote with the kids. They ended up making a coalition, I think, was it the fucking Tories? Yeah, I think it was the Tories. I think the Lib Dems made a coalition with the Tories, but then the coalition that they made meant that the Lib Dems didn't have enough power to enact the things that they said they were going to enact. So one of the first things he went back on was the promise on tuition fees. And then all of us kids went and protested in Trafalgar Square. I went and protested in Trafalgar Square. I was out there shaking my moneymaker, shouting, jumping on stuff, lighting fucking fires, you know, going crazy. And the police just like cattle herded us. They did this thing where it's like a crowd control technique where you cattle herd people into like a certain section and you just let them kind of tire themselves out. So the police were just around us. We were just shouting and making noise and planning all these fucking things about overthrowing the government and blah, 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 blah. And the police were just standing there around us and tied us out until we all got hungry and cold. And we all kind of died down and then they let us go home. And that was it. The tuition fees went up. They didn't go down. And Nick Clegg just like rode up into the sunset. That's when I lost faith in politics. But those type of things could also be a good villain origin story of like, you know what? Now I'm going to be politically involved. But for me, when that shit happened, I lost all faith in politics. And I don't think I've voted since then. So maybe things like this, even though TikTok is back now and they've given it like a 95-day extension or whatever to work out a deal, which is pretty shiesty because it means that the US government really wasn't that concerned about safety and about the intelligence and information that potentially Chinese government could glean from TikTok from its fucking US users. What the US government really wanted, they wanted a piece of TikTok because they must be making too much money. That's exactly what's happening. It doesn't seem like they actually care about all the finagle business they do. It's more so they want to get a taste. They don't want TikTok making all the money. They want to get a little bit of a bite, which is completely understandable too. But Jesus Christ, this reaction is so dramatic.
And to the US government, I'm never forgiving you for this. And I'm never going to trust you ever again because you just, like that, took away millions of people's income and livelihood. And who does that? So I'm never trusting you ever again with anything.
So I'm starting to give up hope that there's going to be a Hail Mary moment at the end of this that's going to save this app.
What I'm also learning by all this emotion, all this crying, because I don't cry or, you know, show any emotion at all ever. But what I'm definitely seeing is that people were making a lot of money on TikTok, innit? Because the only way people get this emotional or cry like this on social media is number one, because they want attention. And number two, because something very dear to them has been taken away. So it seems like people were making way more money than people actually know. It's a crazy different world. I'm not really a part of it. I probably should because I talk so much. I probably should make a TikTok account just like talking on current day topics. That might actually work out well. But people must be making a lot of money because real adults to cry like this, like the money must have been good and it must have been consistent. Because also one thing I've noticed, TikTok, no, maybe you guys have noticed this too. I feel like TikTok content creators are way more consistent than any other content creator I've seen on any other social media platform. Maybe except for Twitter. But Twitter just typing. I feel like people on TikTok, they are always making videos. From the girls doing their dances, to the makeup people, to the ones doing arts and crafts, to the mums that show you what they cook for their kids. I feel like they are always uploading. Like their feeds, if you go on someone's feed, all you see is like video after, like they go crazy for the videos. So they must be, it must pay really well. Because that's the only way you encourage that type of output. You have like good discoverability on there. And you also pay well, people are gonna queue up. So I might have to start going on TikTok. I might have to start using TikTok. Maybe start making a clips channel or something on there because it seems like there's some gold there. There's some gold there.
App was so dumb coming on the internet and crying about an app. But the fact is that this has been a sense of community for me for years now. And it got me through really, really hard times in my life.
It got me through hard times, aka the money was so good. I could finally do all the things that I really wanted to do. That's the truth of it. The money was so good, I could finally do all the things I wanted to do. Which is true, I'd imagine, because that's one thing that I'm conscious of, right? Once my channel gets popping and I start doing well, I get very conscious of the idea of like, it's going to be really difficult to start doing well and then suddenly hit a bit of a dip and then you're not doing well anymore because you're going to get because I think it happens to everybody. Obviously, when you're not making a lot of money, then you start making loads of money. You adjust to it. It becomes normal. So when you start making 5 grand, 10 grand a month, it becomes normal. There was a time in my life where I was working full time and I was making like £12,000 a year. I think 13,000 a year. But after taxes, it worked out to about 11. Sometimes some months I'd get £900 in my account for a full-time paycheck, and I was paying like £600 in rent. Fucking wild, right? So imagine when you go from that to suddenly making £900 per day, per week. You're making what you used to make in a year, in a month. And then suddenly the US government says, nah, maybe I'll be crying too. I'm starting to reverse my thinking. Maybe I'll be crying too. I'm starting to take back some of my insults, right? Some of my flipping, some of my things I was saying earlier. I'm taking it back now because I think if I was making 20 grand per month, diddly-daddling on fucking TikTok, and it got taken away from me through no fault of my own, I might be sobbing too.
The pandemic, losing my job, all of that, getting divorced, like all of this crap that's happened to me in the last 5 years since I've been on here. Hours and hours and hours of time I put into creating stuff.
Yo, big up Coin in the stream chat. Appreciate you, my guy. Okay, this is interesting perspective. It's good for traffic, but not for money. TikTok also is well documented for shadow banning high performers just to revamp the algo. They ain't crying for loss of money, they're crying for loss of attention, which is way more tragic, to be fair. It's way more tragic and way more bleak that they're crying for loss of attention, loss of an audience, loss of community. That is way more bleak. I'm not gonna lie, that is way more bleak. But what I do like about their algo though, TikTok, I feel like whenever I'm on TikTok, the algo, especially if you like engage with the content, that's what usually the algorithm does. If you engage, if you start liking stuff, clicking stuff, whatever, I feel like the feed is really good. They give you things that you actually want to check out. Whereas on Instagram, a lot of the stuff in your feed is like stuff that you don't even give a shit about. It's stuff that's being promoted and paid for, whatever. But I feel like the TikTok feed is actually, if you start engaging with it, it's really good. I remember when I first opened one, maybe it's not the same now. The thing that kind of scared me off, when I first opened a TikTok account, maybe during the pandemic, the first thing I noticed though was that back then when it was in to do like the silhouette challenge, when those girls were wearing that it's almost like a Mardi Gras it's like a flared trouser thing, and they were showing their bums and jiggling when they were walking, when girls were twerking in general. I feel like that was the whole feed, and I didn't even have an account, so it wasn't even like they had my data and information and my behaviors. They had none of that. I remember opening up a blank account, and the first thing I saw on the feed was just loads of like girls who looked like they were suspect, like proper, like borderline barely legal, and it was recommending that content. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with this feed? Why is it recommending me like PDF shit? But then I guess over time they've kind of honed it and got off it. But that used to be the only thing they were pushing, like little girls like lip singing to fucking Miley Cyrus tunes. It's like, I'm okay, bro. I don't need to see some like, some white girl from Ohio with a fucking dump truck who is clearly under the age of 18 on my feed. No, thank you.
For this platform, and I'm not the biggest creator on here. Like, I'm not like, I don't have 3 million followers or 10 million followers, but I do have a platform. It's the biggest platform I have, and I worked really.
That's one thing I've also noticed, by the way. People on TikTok have way bigger platforms on TikTok than have any other platform. That's the interesting thing I've noticed. Don't know why that is. They're not able to replicate the success of their, which makes me think, like, because I've worked for some social media apps in the past, and I know in the back end they can jig anything. So it's making me think: do TikTok on purpose, similar to like Rumble, similar to Kick? Do they on purpose tweak so it's like it makes you feel like you got more followers than you actually have, so you stay on the app? Because obviously as a content creator, if you're getting loads of views and loads of engagement, you're gonna start doubling down on the stuff that's getting you the engagement and the views. So if I find out, oh, everyone likes it when I talk about this person, I'm gonna keep making videos on that person. So I wonder if TikTok, because I've heard loads of creators say this, that they don't have the same followers on other platforms. I wonder if they do this on purpose, and they see you making content, they see you making an effort, so they make you feel like you're getting more views than what you're actually getting, and they also give you way more followers that aren't actually legit, because the home of the bots is unfortunately China and shit, so they could easily do that, or they could fiddle with the numbers in the back end.
really hard to make it. On top of that, it's been a source of income for me for going on 3 years now. First, it was just a little bit, but then it got to be more. I'm not like rich off of it, but it has significantly helped my income every month. Hi, Halloumi. And it's been consistent enough that like I've been able to rely on it. So like on top of being just sad that I'm losing.
Oh, bless the cat. The cat immediately felt her emotions. The cat immediately could tell she was crying and upset and came in and gave her a couple of licks. But it didn't work. She's still crying. Bless the cat.
My creative outlet and my platform, I'm like worried about like what I'm gonna do financially. And I know like
No, but that's also bad. I know we all adjust to different paychecks and different salary increases, but if you start making $5,000 a month, you have to save at least 1,000. And I'm not even the biggest saver in the world, but I've learned in my little life of like saving, even £1, even £10 per month, it goes a long way. If you're making, if you used to make $1,000 at your job, and now you're making 5, you owe it to your future self to save at least 1,000 per month. Maybe even 1,000 every other month. You shouldn't be living paycheck to paycheck. If you're living paycheck to paycheck, making $5,000 a month, you are a real dummy. You are a real dummy. A real dummy, because you could give yourself such a big cushion, such a good little like safety blanket, a safety net. You know, such a good rainy day fund. Saving $1,000 a month for $5,000. Like, come on. But then I'm also not too sure if maybe like it's different in the US. Maybe because you guys pay. I think you pay stuff like every twice a week sometimes, or you get paid twice. I don't know how it works out, but I think if you get paid monthly and you get paid more than $5,000, you should save $1,000. You should save $1,000. It shouldn't be that difficult to put $1,000 and just forget about it and live on the 4. It shouldn't be that difficult to do. But again, maybe it's easier said than done.
I'll figure it out. Like I've had to do that a million times in my life. Like I'm an artist, I've had to figure it out a million times, but it just like it sucks that I have to, or that any of us have to. It's so unfair. This is so much more than just an app. Like this is really truly a sense of community that there is nowhere else.
Yo, people are really lonely out there, isn't it? Like I love the fact that, because sometimes you get in life, right? I have some friends in my social group who will sometimes try and shame you for staying indoors, who might shame you for being online too long, who might shame you because you're on Spaces, try and like shame you because you hang out on Discord. But the numbers prove that way more of us are quote unquote lonely and like to spend time indoors or on social media than those of us who say, oh, go outside and touch grass, have some real friends, travel, all this sort of stuff. Most people don't do that. Most people are online on their phone. Most people are on social media. From the day from the time they wake up to the time they go to sleep, they are on that beat 100% of the time. Clearly, so somebody's definitely lying. And I think those adventurer types, the ones that are telling you to always touch grass, the ones that tell you it's so important to do everything to do IRL, they are a small minority, because the numbers don't lie. Most of us are online, on our phones, on social media, and for sure, some of us actually do feel like there's a sense of community in little social media platforms that we're on, whatever it may be. So although she's crying, it's making me laugh. I believe what she's saying. It actually did feel like a community. She probably knew some of the people that were commenting on her page, people that would DM her. They made connections, became actual friends online and shit, which is probably a stronger friendship than anyone you have like in real life, because you talk to people all the time. Wild times.
On the internet. And like, yes, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Red-Note now, I'm on Lemonade. I don't even know what that is, but I have 13,000 followers on there. I've literally only logged in twice.
Wow, I'm on Jesus Christ, Red-Note, Lemonade, Jesus Christ. She's killing it, man. I'm so popular, but I'm on TikTok.
But I know that none of it's going to be the same. I know none of it's going to be the same. So I guess if this goes away, and for those of you that I don't see on the other apps, like want to say like, thank you to the community that I've had.
Yeah, exactly. Big up Two Swords. That is the modern way, innit? That is the modern way. Big up Two Swords. I'm at work in the stream while driving. That is the modern way. Big up Two Swords. That is the modern way. Big up Zero Cool as well. It like if you look like she does and you're making 50k per month, you should be saving 48k, because that shit is going away very soon. Oh, that's true. Yeah, to be fair, that's true. That's a very good point. You should be save the majority and live on 2k. I think that's what I would do, to be fair. But I've also, I think it's easier when you're kind of maybe these people as well, if you're used to making loads of money at your workplace, then you start making more money on social media. It's just the same. But if you're used to just working a regular job like I have rest of my life, for the most of my life, and I suddenly go from making like $1.5 grand at my job, and now I'm making $3 grand on social media, I'm definitely going to save the majority of it, because I know, you know, I'm always going to have that fucking fear that it can be always taken away, right? That kind of poverty mindset, which is a bit toxic, but it serves a purpose. I'm just always shocked at people, because it does happen. It does happen. It's probably more common than probably people think. But there's a lot of people out there that make 100 grand a year and they live paycheck to paycheck. People like that just surprise me. I get it. Sometimes if you make 100 grand a year and you live like in New York or something, that money's not going to go that far. I get it. But it's just the idea of making like that amount a month, like $5 grand, $3 grand plus, and you can't even save like $100 a month. That is insane to me. Like, and you have no idea, you have no concept of like, maybe things can change, maybe circumstances can change, the company might go under. Just give yourself a little black, especially if you're doing social media, because the money, I'd imagine, on social media or on any type of content with sponsors, it might come really, really quickly. It might come a lot, but then there's no longevity. There's no, tomorrow is never promised. You can't think you're entitled to a career on social forever. It's not a thing. I think locals do that, which is always a funny thing. Like the guys at DSP and Wings of Redemption, they always have this idea that it's going to last forever, which maybe it will do for them because they're kind of hated. So if you're hated, you maybe have that constant people always checking up on you and wanting to see your downfall, but they're also kind of fans maybe. But in general, you have to always think the party will end at one point. So maybe saving £100, $100 per month in your paycheck shouldn't be that difficult, but it will help you in the long run. But what do we know?
My little community, I had such a small little corner of TikTok, but it was really beautiful. And I really appreciate all of you guys. All the people that comment on all my videos, even when my views were down and I wasn't getting views, people that would comment. And I always saw you, the same people. I know who you guys all are, and I love you all so much. And I'm so appreciative for the time that we've had. And I can't believe I'm crying like this on the internet. It feels like the pandemic. I haven't done this since then. But it feels like I'm losing. It feels like I'm losing like a really good friend.
I've never cried when I lost a friend. No, actually, I lie. I cried once when some friends said they didn't want to hang out with me. I forgot how old I was. I might have been like 7 or 8. I remember my dad like shouted at me. That was one of the wildest times. Like, I was so upset that my friends said that they didn't want to hang out with me. I ran back. I did like the American thing. I ran back home, ran up the stairs, jumped to my bed. And my dad came in and just started blasting me. Just started going at him. I was like, bruh, I got ditched, man. These guys said don't want to be. Why are you shouting at me for? Why you say fuck me for? He just went going in at me to a point where like I just stopped crying. And I was like, oh wow, okay, cool. Guess I'm a bitch. I guess I did wrong for having feelings. And ever since then, I've been a cold-hearted, mean old THUG. Exclamation mark. We don't cry ever. Yeah. Big up Zero Cool. DSP has like 3 whales who are going to keep donating until the end. Yeah, no, that's true. I've also wrangled that in my brain and come to terms with it, because I fucking hate DSP. Absolutely hate him to my core. He's probably the only person on social media that I hate and routinely root against and want to see him lose everything. But to be honest, he's never going to lose everything. Because one thing I noticed when I've kind of recently anyway, I was like, you know what? I think some of these whales actually get off not only on the control they have over him, the whales that kind of fund his life, but I think they also get off on like proving the doubters, proving people like me wrong, detractors. Like, oh my God, it's finally gonna come to an end. Nah, haha. I gave him the money. Haha, he's still here. Haha, he made his goal. Haha, he's got the fucking DSP eats it's gonna happen, whatever, tries it shit. I think the whales get off on that. They might get off on like proving detractors wrong more so than they get off on controlling DSP and having DSP, control him like a puppet master. I think so. I think they really enjoy that in a weird way. And also, because he's such a fucking freak and such an alien, I'm sure some of these people who are like on the fringes of society probably see a lot of themselves in him. How about, because he's, to any normal person, I think ALT on fucking That Being Said always says it. Anyone that's got a normal, rational brain, if you watch a bit of DSP content, there's no way you can be a fan of him. It's impossible. He's abhorrent. You know what I mean? He's like a completely, you know what I mean? There's nothing redeemable about him at all. He's a complete unmitigating piece of shit. But I think if you're on the fringe of society and you're also maybe somebody that feels like you're not being seen or heard, DSP in a weird way can kind of be your person. He can be your, lack of a better term, hero, as Brendan Schaub could say. He could be maybe your North Star even, right? So I'm sure those people see that in him and they're going to rally behind him, because if they don't rally behind him, it's like they're not supporting themselves. So if he loses, they lose. And if they continue to support him, they feel like they are also dunking on the trolls, dunking on detractors, dunking on Kiwi farms. So in a way, they won't ever really lose. But I would love to see like those Wings, DSP and Boogie just lose everything. They're such pieces of shit. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, the Boogie with the lying about the cancer, Wings with, you know, the PDF stuff and the other nonsense and how he turns off the stream and mopes and expects money. DSP, the entitlement, the begging, just horrible people. Horrible people. But I also have to give them credit for getting in there early. That's the importance of, like, what's that, first mover's advantage, right? That kind of saying or that kind of term. I think they got into content creation so early. They got into like that stuff so early that it's impossible not to still be making money now. If you were just consistent, like if you started uploading videos in like 2015 and you just kept doing it, you would eventually get success just because you're just around. Not because you were good, not because people think your content was insightful, eye-opening, motivating, inspiring, blah, 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 all useful. Just because you're around and you don't leave, you eventually, you know what I mean? Eventually people will be like, you know what? The algo eventually, you know what? Let's give this guy a boost. Let's give her a boost. And then suddenly here you are with 100K plus subscribers, making over 100K a year consistently for many, many years, even though your content is dog shit like DSP. It's honestly fascinating to watch from the outside in, because any other person wouldn't be able to get away. Like I remember there was actually a stat at one point when DSP was on Twitch. He was like one of the most well-supported content creators on Twitch compared to his like actual numbers. So he didn't have a lot of like viewers, but a lot of the viewers he had were very generous, even more so than other big time content creators and streamers. Like crazy stats. So like his fans, like he seems to find fans that are redacted, fans who are on the fringe of society, and they also seem to have money. It's a weird combination. Like he always seems to have a couple of whales in his back pockets, and they're always like you know, really weird. They're like, I don't know, they're into like some freaky shit. They may be disabled or whatever mentally. So they got something like, I don't know how it happens, but I guess it's maybe similar to people that, you know, abuse people. Like there's probably something about that kind of like toing and throwing, like the abuser and the person that gets abused. There's some energy or something that kind of attracts them to each other. So maybe if you're a scammer and shit, you just always seem to, you know, attract people that are vulnerable and looking for a way out, looking for a savior. And then, you know, you take advantage of them and then here you are, you know, suddenly rinsing their fucking savings account. It's pretty bleak. And then last video from the TikTok people crying, and then we'll move on. This is a guy, I think.
Has anyone else just been crying on this app all night? Because it feels like we're losing, like, a community. It feels like we're losing.
Honestly, man, I rarely cry ever in my life. Like I said, I can't even remember the last time I cried in my adult age. To say that I'm gonna cry on social media, I'd rather step out of a window. I'd rather step out of a window, Game of Thrones style, than sit in front of a camera and cry for sympathy, for empathy. Like, no.
Friends, we're losing, like, a platform where we learned so much about...
I'm sorry, but Americans crying about TikTok because it's a learning platform? Go to school, man. Read a book. Go to, like, a online learning. There's free, you know, educational resources on freaking YouTube. It's full of them. Lectures, whatever. Amazon is full of cheap books and stuff you can learn on. Like, why is all your learning coming from flipping TikTok? Learning. That's so concerning. So concerning that all people's learning was coming from fucking TikTok. Before that, people weren't learning. What were you doing before? God damn.
Things we didn't know about. Opportunities, places to eat, movies to watch, books to read. it's like, it's inspiring seeing people talk about how the fish are gonna move somewhere.
The fish. Oh God, man. Come on, guy. Come on, guy. Come on, man. I would have more respect if just cried about the money. I'd have more respect to cry about the money. Like, oh my God, I've got a reservation for Nobu next week. How am I gonna pay for that? Like, just cry about that. My Tesla payment's coming up. Like, God, you know, I'd have more respect for that. But crying because you didn't, you know, the fish.
Or else afterwards, and how the community is not going to go away, but it just feels like losing a family member. And it's a fucking I know I might be dramatic, and I know I'm not somebody that got some crazy following on this app.
Family member.
TikTok made a fucking difference for me, and this sucks.
Oh, bless him, man. Bless him. Bless Vans in the sand. Bless Vans in the sand. Because it seems like he actually did, you know. I feel kind of bad because I'm also online as much as everybody else. And I have quote unquote friends and stuff, you know, who I like to hear from, who I chat to all the time. So I can imagine, you know, it's probably the same. It's probably worse when you're younger, isn't it? Because you probably don't really have any real friends. Most of your friends do come from online. I don't know. Either way, TikTok is back now, so these guys can stop crying. TikTok is back now, so these guys can stop crying. Cool. Quickly, want to talk about this. This is courtesy of Matthew Welty, who's one of the hosts for the Complex Sneaker Show, and he posted the following tweet on his Twitter. I want Nike to make new grails for this generation, like Kids of Immigrants, Saunders, Cortez 95s. Not re-release the collaboration grails from my generation. Not because I don't want people to have them, I just want the game to move forward. Re-release all the old OGs, that's fine. But some shoes are better off having moments in the past. They came out, they served their purpose, and now it's time to move on. You can't capture the same feeling twice of a brand's collaboration on the shoe. Now, I largely agree with what he's saying. You know, Matthew Welty is one of those type of people, like, most of the time his takes are horrendous, but from time to time he does have really good takes. This is a good take. I just don't believe him. I feel like most people from Matthew Welty's generation, they just don't want the kids to have the retros or have the grails that they had back in the day or that they missed out on. They just don't want these new kids to have them. They'd rather they be like grails that live in the past, things that only they experience, stories that only they can tell. That's basically it. Even though he says, not because I don't want people to have them, I think he's lying through his teeth. And I think the reason why people like that don't want Pigeon Dunks to get retroed, they don't want Uncle Dunks to get retroed, they're upset that the undefeated Jordan 4s, because this comes from the undefeated Jordan 4, right? This particular shoe that was very limited edition. I actually tried to get a pair when they came out and I didn't get them. Instead I got a t-shirt, if I'm not mistaken. Instead I got a fucking t-shirt. I remember they released back in the day, right? Undefeated Jordan 4 Foot Patrol t-shirt. Back in the day, I queued up at Foot Patrol to get this t-shirt. Big up Wes from Foot Patrol. And instead of getting the shoe, I got a t-shirt instead. Because I couldn't get the fucking shoe. That's the t-shirt I got. Yeah, they're the one. I had this t-shirt. It's completely, I don't think I own it anymore. It might be gone. But I had this t-shirt right there. This Jordan t-shirt that's undefeated, part of the undefeated pack. I think if I'm not mistaken, was it a prize or a raffle? I don't know how I got it. Basically, I entered the raffle to try and get the Jordan 4s. I didn't get them because Foot Patrol had a very small allocation of the particular shoes. But then they also had the t-shirt. So I think I might have bought it instead. Because I think back in the day, that's what happened. You'd queue outside of a store for shoes. And if you couldn't get what you wanted, you wouldn't want to leave empty-handed. You felt kind of embarrassed to leave the store after all that time queuing outside and sleeping outside. You just wanted to buy it. So you'd buy anything. So some drops, they'd have like limited edition, you know, whatever, apparel and stuff and whatever else. So at this particular time, they had this t-shirt and I remember buying it just to feel like it wasn't a waste of time. But, you know, imagine queuing 10 hours for a t-shirt. Obviously, I wanted the trainers. So if you don't know, these Jordans are coming back out very soon. Let me actually see. I think there's actually an official pictures of them out. I think I saw official pictures somewhere. This one, it's really happening. That was 2 weeks ago, right? Where's that from? Soul Supplier. So let's click this one here. So this particular shoe here, the Jordan 4 undefeated, is the one that's got everybody hot and bothered. So this particular shoe is coming back out Let's actually read this article courtesy of Soul Supplier. They're saying the following: the undefeated Jordan 4 always steals the spotlight whenever we talk about the go of sneaker collabs. This is why the news of the sneaker making an OG comeback this summer has gotten all us excited. These days, sneaker collabs drop faster than you refresh your app, but rewind to 2005. Yeah, that's when it happened. 2005, fucking hell. And this grail is a total game changer. The first ever Air Jordan collab. I didn't know that. Okay. The first ever Air Jordan collab check. Insanely rare double check. It was so exclusive that most people took an L, myself included. I got a t-shirt. And while the lucky few laughed all their way to the resale bank. Founded in 2002, Undefeated has grown into a cornerstone of streetwear culture, starting in Los Angeles, and the brand eventually expanded internationally, opening a flagship store in Japan and China. By the way, a little bit of lore on Undefeated. They were owned by, I think the guy's name's like James Bond or something. I think his name's like James Bond. He's like this dude, really big, burly, white dude. The lore about Undefeated, which is funny, if I'm not mistaken, Aaron Bondaroff actually came up with the name Undefeated. But I think at the time, the owner, who now is owner of Undefeated, had the name a New York thing. So they swapped the brand deal. They swapped the brands. So then Aaron Bondaroff got a New York thing, and he gave Undefeated to that guy. And then he ended up opening the store. So, you know, wherever, you know, I don't know what happened to, no, Aaron Bondaroff got cancelled for some like sex pesty thing. But that's the law of Undefeated. It was Aaron Bondaroff came up with the name, allegedly. It continues. For the Jordan 4 collaboration, Undefeated drew inspiration from the MA1 flight jackets, a timeless piece that transitioned effortlessly from military use to menswear. The result, a striking deep green, blah, 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 blah. The lower half of the sneaker, the top of it all off, da, 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 da. The Undefeated Air Jordan 4 deep green returns on the 28th of June, available through Nike sneaker app and select stores for $210. So that's the shoe that's coming back that's really divided opinion, because it was an incredibly rare shoe. Like, I don't know, they might have made less than 10,000 of these, if not less than 5,000. They go for crazy amounts on StockX now. I think they go for like $5 grand on StockX. Let me actually see. But they go for a lot of money on StockX. They're incredibly rare, but they're getting retroed again because Nike doesn't have any new ideas. So they prefer to go back into the archives and retro shoes that did really well instead of making new silhouettes or new shapes. This is what they do. It's annoying, but it's what they do. So a lot of these old shoes that did numbers back in the day are coming back. And people like Matthew Welty and other, like, you know, snooty sneakerheads are really not happy about that. So let me check here. There's no bid. We can't. Okay, I want to check sales. Can we check sales? Last sale. Can we check that? It doesn't see. Don't check me last sale. Where's it? There's no. Let me check market data. There's no sale to see when they were last sold. All sales. There's no sale from back in the day. I want to see how much they're worth. Okay, there's no sale at all. No sales data. That's weird. Huh. There's no sale data at all. But let me just let you know that they go for a lot of money. They're not cheap. They're gonna be like a lot of money. You know, no one's selling them. Okay, someone must have a pair of Undefeated Jordan 4s available for sale. Okay, allegedly people are, yeah, there must be. Okay, there's none. Wow, there's actually none available on resale right now to purchase. That's how rare they are. Because these ones are not real. These are all fake, I'm assuming. All these ones look very, very, very fake. But, okay, cool. There's not a pair available at the moment, so I guess it is what it is. But in general, this is essentially what Welty is talking about. Welty is talking mostly about people who are upset about those shoes coming back. Now, anyways, I think this is a good take because I feel like one of the things that I've been like annoyed with sneakers, and I think that's why I've kind of not been into sneakers as much and don't buy shoes as much anymore, especially when it comes to Nike and Adidas. They don't really do any new models, especially Nike. They don't create anything new, which is really odd because I'm pretty sure Nike has a stranglehold on the talent. Most designers, most sneakerheads, most streetwear people, most fans of shoes in general, like myself, you grow up idolizing Nike. You want to work for Nike. Nike is kind of like our Apple. It's like, you know, two of the dream places you want to work at. Apple, Nike, and maybe Supreme. You idolize it. You dream about these type of places. But unfortunately, it seems like these places, they do hire a lot of people who are from the community, from the scene, who are interested in this sort of stuff, but they don't empower them. So you get there and you end up just like designing colorways, or you end up kind of regurgitating shitty retros, but you don't actually get a chance to create new legendary silhouettes and put your marker down on the timeline of sneaker history. It doesn't exist. So I'm sure they probably have a bunch of talented designers in their fucking headquarters right now, but they don't actually let them make new shoes for some reason. They always just opt for retros. So we have an unlimited amount of Jordan retros coming out, from the Jordan 1 to the Jordan 4s, but we rarely have any new silhouettes, any new Jordan shapes that are really pushing the envelope and really challenging consumers and really offering something different. Which is why I think, one of my theories, I think that's why Yeezy was so popular. Yes, Kanye did amazing work, but I think part of the reason why Yeezy was so popular at the time that it came out with Adidas, at least it was something different. At least it was something visually interesting, intriguing. It offered a completely different take on sneakers, on boots, on slides, on slippers, like on basketball shoes. It just gave you something different. And if you wanted to just stand out a little bit, buying a pair of Yeezys, regardless of which one you bought, would definitely do that and would definitely turn some heads. But for whatever reason, Nike don't want to do that. And it's very odd too, because I feel like the easiest crowd to sell new shapes to would be sneakerheads. Regular normies probably would prefer just to have non-stop Air Force Ones come out. But I think if you actually want to direct your attention and resources to, you know, supplying sneakerheads, because sneaker industry now is like $1 billion industry, if not multi-billion-dollar industry, then why not give us something new and fresh? People are waiting with bated breath for it. And I think the success of other brands in recent years and the fall off of Nike sales and their stock prices, you know, the resurgence of Asics and New Balance and even Adidas to a certain extent, has now been shown to be a reflection of, yes, those guys are doing great work, but it's more so also about Nike dropping the ball and not actually innovating and not developing and not pushing things forward, which is why people are having a little bit of apathy when it comes to some of these limited edition shoes, because it's just the same old, same old. It's just the same old, same old. So yes, I would like new silhouettes. I would like the kids to have the new shit to kind of lust over and enjoy. But I think Nike just are resistant, refusing to do so. It took them nearly 30 years to basically make a like-for-like retro in that new Jordan 85 band. And they're wanking themselves off from every fucking piece of press that they have, trying to get themselves pats on the back for doing something that people, myself included, sneakers, have been asking for 30 plus years. So it is what it is. It is what it is. But big up Matthew Welty for spitting pure, utter facts there. Continuing on, let's talk a little bit about This Never That collaboration with It's a Feeling. Very, very good DJ wear. Something that I've always been confused about and something that I want to see more brands do. But I remember my lovely friend Joyce once telling me how difficult it actually is to get merch produced. To get merch produced, to get merch shipped, to get merch sold, especially as a DJ roaming around the world, going from location to location. It's not as easy as I thought it was, but I'd always be wondering, why don't more DJs have more like cool merch? Like they could sell after a gig, before a gig, whatever, to kind of give the fans something to kind of show their love and appreciation for. Because part of the thinking was, I would go to these techno gigs and I'll see people in the crowd, sometimes even myself included, wearing like band t-shirts, wearing Nails t-shirts, Slipknot t-shirts, Metallica t-shirts, whatever band you're into, whatever band you're pretending you're into. And I'm like, why don't we have more merch from the promoters, from the parties, from the DJs to actually show your appreciation that, hey, you're a big, I don't know, you know, whatever, SPF DJ fan. You got SPF DJ t-shirt on. But they don't do that. And I feel like for whatever reason, in the dance music world, electronic music world, techno world, DJ world, I feel like merch is kind of looked down upon. People kind of scoff at it. It's almost a bit embarrassing to kind of shill or sell or promote your own merch, which is weird because fans want to support you sometimes outside of just the music. They don't, or maybe they can't come to raves. Maybe they don't like to go to raves, but they want to support you, so they want to buy a t-shirt and show people that they like you. Because I know some fans, I know some people who just buy, they don't even buy a t-shirt to wear it. They just buy it just to have as like a memento. So I was always surprised why more people don't do, you know, collaborations that involve like clothing or whatever it may be. So this particular collaboration with Phil and This Never That, the Korean brand, is really fucking cool. I'm not gonna lie. So this is courtesy of Highsnobiety. They kind of spoke to the designer who put it together, and the actual whole collection is available to purchase now online, which I'll definitely be showing you in a minute as well. But they've got a t-shirt here. They've got a bunch of stuff featured. They've also got the DJ bag that I'm a big fan of. They've also got a really cool varsity jacket that looks fucking amazing. They've got a great hoodie, a great snapback hat. But the DJ bag is definitely the standout piece for someone like myself. You know, it's like a good all-rounder bag. It can be used when you're going out to DJ. It can also be used as something that you're going to use if you're going out on a night out or whatever it may be. So let's read the article. This is courtesy of Highsnobiety. The best kinds of collaborations don't merely create merch, but explore and expand upon purpose-driven project. The This Never That and public release, that's what it's called, not feeling, my bad. It's called public release. This Never That and public release respect the power of purpose, is enough to reunite almost 2 years after the first team up to expound on the idea initially put forth with, yes, purpose. This Never That and public release are once again focused on the bag, but not just any mere bag. This is the utilitarian essential for modern day DJ. The bag in itself is designed to be the useful tool, not just something that holds a bunch of tools, says public release founder DJ Eugene Whang. And this guy, Eugene Whang, allegedly, based on his social media, it looked like he used to be a designer at Apple as well. So he's got a lot of, a lot of good credit in that regard. So you'd imagine the bag has probably gone through loads of iterations, is actually useful, actually functions well, as apart from also being very good to look at. There was no bag out there that spoke to me that was purpose-built for holding headphones, addressing the USB stick storage in a simple and efficient way. There are plenty of vinyl record bags out there. I've even designed a compact one with Nonative a few years ago. But still, no one has really addressed the modern DJ bag, which is really cool. I think the only other company that did a really good DJ bag was Pata. Pata, the Dutch streetwear company, did a really cool DJ bag. I think they've done 2 iterations of it, which I really liked. I think the first iteration was this one that looks a little bit like a multi-gun. That look like more like those things that soldiers wear, like one of those kind of utility belt type things. And then the second edition was this grey one, I think, over here. I think that was the second edition. But Pata did a kind of a good little DJ bag that was more like a crossbody bag. It felt more like a waist bag type of thing, as you can see here on the model. He's wearing it around the waist, but they did a pretty good one. And I also remember the legendary bag that sold out instantly. I'm surprised they ever made more of it. The Fold bag. Fold made a bag back in the day that sold out and has now become a bit of a legendary, grail piece that you see some people wearing from time to time, which is this bag here, which is kind of their version of a DJ bag that isn't available anymore. I wonder why they haven't resold it or tried to make another one. Because I think now that Fold is such a popular club, more so than it was in the past, I feel like this bag would sell out instantly if they did it again. But I'm assuming, as my good friend Joyce once told me, that making merch and genuine product is just a lot more expensive than what you probably think it is. So even though they probably would make a bunch of money remaking this bag, it probably would be more hassle and more work than what it's worth. Then you have to have somebody specifically managing the project, being in charge of packing it, being in charge of fulfilling orders, dealing with customer complaints, blah, 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 blah. So it's this whole different thing, but I would like to see more DJs do that sort of thing. But continuing on, this is the bag itself, as you can see there from This Never That, a DJ bag, which I feel like looks fucking incredible. Really nice shape. It's got a really cool fastening on the inside where you can attach keys and the USB, your key as well there if need be. Actual USB keys too, by the way. That's a really cool little nod there. You actually got an actual USB key shaped in the key. That's also there. You've also, as you can see there, got enough space to fit your headphones there. In this particular case, they've got the essential DJ headphones, the Sennheiser HD25s, can easily fit in there. And usually, if you can fit Sennheiser HD25s, you can usually fit any type of headphone in that particular bag. There's also a inside side compartment with a nice public release This Never That label on the inside as well, and loads of storage all around the bag. I love this area too because this is where you put your bottle, and it's got like a fastening here, so you can obviously secure it so it doesn't fall out, which is also very handy if you're out and about in the raves and shit, jumping up and down. Also, an extra bit of strap there to put extra bits of things on the inside. You've also got nice little branding on the crossbody strap, which feels like you can wear it across the body, across the shoulder, and also probably around the waist if you want. And it also comes in all black. Obviously, the color to get is definitely the orange one. The white one probably stained too easy, but the orange one is definitely the color to get. The varsity jacket is also very, very beautiful, but I'm assuming this is probably sold out. A very nice varsity jacket. There's also a t-shirt feel, which stands for full emotive energy level, which is pretty decent as well. In a nice font there. There's also a washed out grey charcoaly color in that t-shirt. A nice actual dad hat that's got the logo almost embroidered on the front. It looks really, really beautiful. I don't really mind that too much. Although my head is too big to fit this type of stuff, I think it looks really freaking cool. So we continue. The stylish little shoulder bag can hold up all your headphones, USB sticks, night out essentials, and quite a bit more in a package that perfectly balances the proportions of your all-day accessories. Oh, talking about bags, did I show you what happens in a Telfar bag? So I've got this Telfar bag. I don't use it, unfortunately. I've not had any time to use it anyway time soon. Maybe I'll take it to Berlin with me actually when I go. But I found this really cool thing in the Telfar bag. Talking about interesting storage, right? So Telfar have these bags that I'm sure some of you guys have seen. I've got the medium olive green one. I've got this medium olive green bag here. So let me show you. Let me get the screen back onto so you can see what I'm talking about. I've got this medium olive green bag here, right? You see this one? This Telfar bag. I actually need to change mine because I don't like the straps. The straps are too close. So the straps on the bag are right here, which I don't really like. The straps are like oddly enough. I'll show you what I mean. But I want to do a little bit of an edit job on these. But the straps, oh shit, I found my my Supreme fucking, oh, they're a bit stinky though. My Supreme gloves. My Iraq, I was looking for these actually. My Supreme gloves, I was actually looking for these. But yeah, so the straps on the bag, on the Telfar bag, they're weird because they come here. They're on the strap, that strap there. But what I want to do, I want to take this strap off and I want to put it on the corners so that it can come across my body and wear it like a crossbody bag. I might actually do that today. That might actually be my little project today, actually, to take the strap off this and then attach it to the ends. Anyway, that being said, talking about interesting compartments, look at what they have. Look at the Telfar. So on the Telfar bag on the inside, let me actually remove some of this shit in here so I can show you what I'm talking about. So on the inside of this bag, so that's a Telfar tote bag, right? They've got the label. I just discovered it literally the other day. It's so fucking cool. They've got the label, the Telfar label in here. You see that, right? You see the label? That's the label. Look what they've got. The label is actually doubles up as a pocket. It's an actual secret stash drug pocket. In there, there's a little pocket. I didn't notice it. Well, someone showed it online. There's a little secret pocket. So if you open the tab, the label, it's got like a little pocket on the inside of it. It's hard to show it. Let me maybe put the camera here, but that's the label there. If you can see the label. And there's a little druggy pocket here. There's a little pocket there that you can literally put shit in, which is pretty handy. Like, that's a pretty cool, that's a really cool nod to the girls, right? To the gays, to the you know, to the bad bitches and shit out there that would wear this type of bags, right? You know, to all the fucking fabulous people that would wear it, because, you know, they might have a little baggie or two in there. So it's a little crazy little stash pocket. I never actually thought about that. It's a really cool little design piece that they added in a Telfar bag. So yeah, big up fucking Telfar. Anyways, let's continue with the article with this one. So I'm a big fan of little stash pockets, all that sort of stuff. So that's a really cool thing they did there. This stylish little shoulder bag can hold headphones, USB sticks, night out essentials, and quite a bit more in a package that perfectly balances the proportions of all-day accessories. It's an update to the original shape that the two put forth last year, embraced by DJs like James Murphy, Harold Preston, and too many DJs. The overall design has been honed and improved, continues Whang. There's a mesh inside because I wanted it to be easy recognizable, so you can easily see if your sticks are, oh yeah, that's a good idea. That's a really good idea. There's a mesh inside because I want it to be easily recognizable, so you can easily see if your sticks are with you before your gigs. But more importantly, after the gig, when everything is typically very hazy and a bit messy, us DJs have misplaced or lost our sticks at the end of the night. Now there's a dedicated spot to clip it into and makes things very obvious and easy to remember. People have loved this. Yeah, that's a really good idea. I didn't think about that actually. Yeah, having the mesh on the inside so you can easily see the sticks that you already have, so you don't have to kind of rummage through or whatever it may be. I've lost a lot of things. I'm a bit of a loser when it comes to like losing keys and shit and wallets over the years, but I haven't lost a USB stick since. I'm not gonna lie, I've never lost a USB stick. I'm always quite good at it, and I've actually got backups. Weirdly enough, I have all my USB sticks that I DJ with. I have them all backed up, so even if I did lose one, I can immediately kind of restore. You know what I mean? From the backup that I already have. So that's the mesh. That's the mesh on the inside. I'm assuming he means, so you can easily see your keys on the inside. That's a pretty nice little design, little nod there. When dealing with international gear like this, it's all about little things, and it's especially about the subtle traits shaped by IRO experiences. As such, the bag itself has grown a bit plusher, more rounded, streamlined, but still cut from a hardy nylon ripstop. It also wears a Feel logo designed by Fergus Purcell. Oh, that's the Palace guy, innit? Who drew the Palace Trifag logo to represent full emotive energy level that signifies a sequel of the duo's prior capsule. This is a feeling, as in the feeling you get from hearing a true banger in a club. Everything about the line in Pacific, which is the best thing to come when you're waddling through a densely occupied space. The accompanying apparel is all washed out, easy and subtle. Even the campaign was shaped by intent. Oh, this is another. Is that another bag he did? Look at that other bag he did. Okay, this is a no-notive bag. So he does really cool bags, man. Pick up Eugene Whang. That's a really nice bag. Look at that tote bag. That's beautiful. That's the kind of strap that I want to do on my Telfar. So I want to take my Telfar strap, that the straps are here. I want to move them to the end so that I can put it across my body. I'm actually going to do that today. That's actually going to be a little project I'm going to do today. But yeah, big up Eugene Whang. He's a good designer, isn't it? The campaign was shot in Tokyo with one of our favorite photographers, Takashi Homa. I first learned about Homa through early issues of Relax magazine, and he's also culturally ingrained in Japanese street fashion art scene. His photographs, point of view, and visual aesthetic had a lasting impact on me. When it came to decide how to represent the collection and photographed it, we wanted to show it in a more artful editorial way rather than typical polished stage campaign shoot. Wang added, pointing out that the models included touring DJ Yuku Mizuhara and burgeoning talent Kyogi Okazaki, and himself. We wanted it to use people who are all connected to it through music. And funny enough, this is all still available now. So if you want some of this stuff, it's all still available. Obviously the varsity jacket is sold out in most sizes, but the t-shirt, the hat, the bag, the hoodie, the other t-shirt is all still available, and the first bag they made. I prefer the second iteration. I like this shape, this kind of rounded circular shape, but the first bag shape that they did collaboration wise is actually available. The first ever one, This Never That, public release DJ bag that comes in this gray, so it's a bit more squared off and stuff. I actually prefer the netting and the shape of the previous one, but they actually have both bags still available. So I recommend you check it out if you want to, even if you're not DJing, you just need a nice little cute bag to wear on the side. I recommend you check it out, thisisneverthat.com. I'll put the link in the description when I'm done as well, so you can check that out. Continuing on, courtesy of Highsnobiety, Jacquemus Fall Winter 25 will be shot on an iPhone. Another gimmick from a brand that flatters to deceive. Another gimmick from a brand that consistently flatters to deceive. Courtesy of Highsnobiety, what's Jacquemus' show without a Jenny runway surprise or a quiet reveal of a Nike collaboration? For Jacquemus' next trick, the luxury brand will present the forthcoming Fall Winter runway show shot on an iPhone. I always hate these shot on an iPhone things because they always say that, but it's not really shot on an iPhone. It's shot on an iPhone with a rig, with studio Hollywood grade cameras and a fucking person pushing somebody on some little wheelchair thing. It's not just somebody actually with the phone in their hand like Victoria Beckham here is in this picture. No, it'll be shot by a professional photographer, director that also has all the lights and everything to make, because basically with most cameras, from what I know and my understanding of cameras and video, as long as you have really good lighting and other things, you could basically make any camera quality look amazing. You just got to improve the things around it. It's not really about the camera and about the amount of megapixels. It's more about the lighting and whatever else that you can use to basically make sure whatever you're capturing through the camera is lit the best. So I'm pretty sure this shot by iPhone thing is some sort of gimmick, and it won't actually be shot by the iPhone. It'll be shot by a person holding an iPhone surrounded by loads of really expensive lights. Jack moves forward to presentation scheduled for January 26th during Paris Fashion Week will be captured exclusively on Apple's iPhone 16 Pro Max, the tech giant latest and greatest phone. So it's an Apple collaboration. The Jacquemus La Croisière presentation will be live streamed from the iPhone and rendered in cinematic slow motion using 4K 120 FPS Dolby Vision recording per the press release. The label will also capture the runway photos and detailed close-ups through the 5x telephoto cameras. Okay. Basically, all Jacquemus forward content will come from, you guessed it, the new iPhone. Okay, I guess so. Jacquemus is working with Apple, advanced its fashion and tech's growing relationship. Previously, Hermes linked up with Apple for luxury-filled accessories like calfskin, Apple watches. The Pharrell-led brand sent LV AirTag invites to guests. The future Jacquemus and Apple relationship remains a mystery outside the upcoming iPhone-filled fashion show. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. But as per usual, when it comes to Jacquemus, most likely the show itself will be quite glitzy and quite fun to watch. But then the clothes themselves will be quite boring. Like, they're falling off a cliff, man. Simon Port started off really cool. I really love the stuff that he did. But now it's gotten kind of boring. It's gotten really boring. They're all about the gimmicks, really. And essentially, it's dying a really, really slow death. And I actually saw, big up Luis Pisano. He posted a picture the other day of some French retail store somewhere where they had tons of Telfar bags. So, tons of Jacquemus bags on sale in the clearance. Like, tons of them in that popular shape that all the girlies love to wear. So, clearly, even the public have gotten bored of Jacquemus. And yeah, they're dying a slow death, really. They're dying a slow death. I'm not really the biggest fan of them as well, to be completely honest. But, you know, what do I know? Another article courtesy of Highsnobiety. This is touching on the last collection I posted about or spoke about on the pod regarding Prada's Fall Winter 25 collection presented by Raf Simons and Yusha Prada. When I was checking out the pictures, when I was watching or clicking through the clips or clicking through the pictures from the runway show on Vogue Runway, I spotted these cowboy boots. But at first I didn't think they were cowboy boots because they looked pretty short. Then I thought they were like just, you know, kind of really pointed up Chelsea boots. But then looking closely, they are cowboy boots. They just have a very different upper. And I think on some pairs, they have patterns. Some pairs, they just have printed uppers in really nice, fancy kind of, you know, prints and designs and shit, which look really cool. But now I've seen the closer pictures and they actually are the standouts. I'm not going to lie. These boots that they've featured are actually the standouts. And they probably will end up being incredibly, incredibly popular when they do eventually come out because they look absolutely incredible. As you can see here, I'm not sure about the material. It kind of looks like it might be like it kind of looks like they've done that like silk sock thing on the upper, similar to what 424 do on their shoes. Is it 424 or 4442? Whatever that brand is from LA. They do a similar sort of thing with their boots where they have this like, almost like, I will say it's neoprene, but it's almost like this weird sock thing that goes around the boot or over the boot. So I feel like that's what they've printed the design on. And actually inside, you know, underneath this boot, there's also a leather. I don't know. Or maybe it's stitched. I'm not too sure. But either way, it looks really fucking cool. You got this nice flower design on one boot. And on the boot behind, the person that's walking behind the model also has another print design that features, I guess, like green plants or green foliage on the upper as well. Which is quite in contrast to the clothing. The clothing was very, I thought, somewhat muted and understated. But the boots were very, very spanky looking. And they look really fucking cool. I love the fuck out of them. As it continues here, there were quite a few stars at the Prada 2025 menswear presentation. Troye Sivan, Sana, someone called Sohyun Kim, Baby Girls Harris Dixon. But perhaps the biggest stars of the show were the actual Prada pieces. Fall Winter 25 was another delicious fashion feast. That's right, the devil may wear Prada, but also cowboy boots. Fall Winter 2025 offered up a plethora of yeehaw-worthy steppers crafted with intentional staining and scuffs and drastically curved toes. Yeah, they look really fucking good. The stains and scuffs also work because, you know, you want you don't want your cowboy boots to look fucking brand new from the box. You want them to look aged. You want to pretend like you're actually out there in the field tending to your horses, you know, doing the shit that cowboys fucking do. I don't know, kicking black people off their farms. The Prada cowboy boots appeared in a range of colors and patterns from grandma-worthy florals to even bolder neon hues. Some even came with Mary Jane tooling, making them do some core math, cowboy core plus girl core to be specific. Yeah, that's an interesting idea actually. Imagine Mary Jane cowboy boots. I'm actually there for it. I'm actually all there for it. For a pair of Mary Jane cowboy boots. You can't actually see anything here, but this person's wearing a pair of white ones. They look pretty nice. Those white ones, I don't mind them at all. This model here is wearing a pair of red ones in like a suede-ish type of color, which look really nice in contrast with the suit. That's something I used to do and don't do anymore. Back in the day, I'd go on Vogue.com or Vogue Runway. I'd usually like to do it when Phoebe Philo was at Celine, when Raf was still doing Raf Simons, sometimes Number 21. Sometimes what else I'd do? I don't know. I'd do random shows and I just jack the color palettes. I do that all the time. So sometimes people do a really amazing styling, little things with the colors, and stuff like this is really cool. Like you could easily replicate this look with some sort of grey suit from any shop and some red boots, and it look fucking incredible. That's a really cool look. And it also reminds me of what's that music video? There's a music video, I forgot the artist. I forgot the artist. Who's the artist? Is it someone from the Skins? No, from the Streets or something. Or is it, I forgot who the artist was. What's his fucking name? It's like a really famous synth pop track, and the guy's wearing an all grey suit with some really cool glasses. I forgot his fucking name. What's his fucking? It's not. Is it Johnny Rotten? It can't be. Johnny Rotten doesn't really have that many good solo songs, does he? Let's see if I can find it. It was Johnny Rotten's super fat now. But there was a video that I remember. Actually, it might be Johnny Rotten. Actually, yeah, it is Johnny Rotten. It's Public Image Limited Rise. That's the one. There's a video where I remember that. I don't know why I remember this, but there's a video where he's wearing an amazing grey suit. And I think I remember it because I wanted to replicate the video in some sort of promo shoot or something. I had some idea to replicate that, but I think it's a Public Image. So it's Public Image Limited Pill. So it's a Public Image Limited record, right? So it's Public Image Limited, and the track is Rise. Hope I don't get taken down by this, but I think Johnny Rotten is in the video and he's wearing this. Yeah, there we go. I watched this before. There we go. This one. And he's wearing a grey suit, and it looks fucking cool. It kind of reminds me a little bit of that look. I don't know if they did copy that look. It could be, but this is it. I have to probably mute the video. Let's see if this works. But this is definitely the video, and he's wearing a grey suit. Let me just mute it now so I don't get copyright struck. Let's take away the fucking captions. Go away if you don't mind. Let's see if it loads. Bear with me a second here. There you go. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, he's wearing a grey suit. That's the grey suit. Yeah, I remember that. That's the grey suit. So grey suits with red boots works. Grey suits with white boots also work. It feels like. But I remember this is the video. Yeah, I remember this video for the grey suit. It's also obviously this suit doesn't look as good as the as the Raf Simons Misha Prada designed one. Don't get me wrong, but it's still a grey suit. You know, it's still a great suit. As you can tell, it's still a very, 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 very obviously grey suit. And I think there's a section in it when he drives a car. That's a good section actually coming up, where I think he's in a car or something. Where is it? Let me skip forward. Look at Johnny Rotten. He's original Little Pump, innit? He's original Little Pump. Such an obvious attention seeker. Let me see it and troll. Let me skip forward a bit. I think there's a bit with a car. That's a good bit. I think where he's outside somewhere. There we go, going on. Yeah, big up Fashion Robo in the stream chat. Wagwan G. Those camel floral print boots were fire. Yeah, they're really fucking nice, man. I also like the aging and distressing on them. I think now that I've seen those fucking Jordan 85s that are coming out, that are like for like, I think there's a real merit. I think there was a time where people were doing too much distressing. I think that artificial distressing was a little bit too rampant. But I think nowadays, certain things require it. Sometimes a really brand spanking new boot, it's just too shiny. That's why I give them now credit for Balenciaga. Even all of these boots have a little bit of a worn-in feel, so they don't look too shiny and too brand new. I think you need that with boots. They need to kind of feel a little bit lived in, even if it's fake. They need to feel a little bit lived in. They can't just be too new. They don't look that good. So I feel like some shoes, some silhouettes, that sort of like discolorization of the midsole, scuffing of the upper, stained laces, purposely, I think it works really well. I'd love it if more brands did that. But those Prada boots did it in a really, really cool way. But yeah, I can't see the scene where he's in a grey. It's not here, is it? Is it? Where's the scene where he's in a car? Okay, so it's not there, but you get the gist anyway. You get gist of what I mean when it comes to the grey shit. You get the gist when it comes to the grey shit. So yeah, those greys ones, the red ones actually look nice. And there's also some trainers here. What do the trainers look like? I didn't see these when I first looked. What are they? Okay. They're like Stan Smith shape shoes. They also got very, very low. I still want those collapsible shoes though. I think every influencer that got flown out for this particular shoe, so this particular show, especially the men, they were all given a pair of those foldable Prada shoes that everyone's been wearing. I really want a pair of those, man. Those look fucking good. What is it? I think there's a Prada. Is it foldable? Or is it foldable shoe or collapsible shoes? Yeah, that's the one. Everyone got given a pair. What are they? Prada. It's actually called a Prada Collapse. Okay, cool. Ooh, they're $720. God damn. I guess I don't want them that much. These are $720. Honestly, the pricing of luxury sneakers. The pricing of luxury sneakers is so insane. How are these $720? Oh my God. in case you're not watching, essentially what they are, I'll describe them to you. They're basically like plimp soles. They're basically plimp soles with a very thin sole, maybe, I don't know, a couple millimeters. The upper is mostly made out of a nylon and some sort of suede, and the back has no structure. It's kind of like collapsible. I kind of feel like they made these with the Chinese Asian market in mind, because where I live, there's loads of like Asian exchange students who are always dressed head to toe in like designer. Like every time I go to my local Lidl, you'll see some kid wearing like a Balenciaga bag, Balenciaga runners, Alexander McQueen hat, Jeffrey fucking, what you call it? Jeffrey Loverboy knit hat, like always crazy pieces just in the Lidl, which is usually like a, you know, a bit of a shit budget-y kind of supermarket. But sometimes if you see them in there, you can always hear, if you don't see them, you can hear them. They love dragging their feet. They love dragging their feet and letting their feet fucking slap on their fucking shoes and shit when they're wearing shoes, and they love like a good mule or something, you know, a kind of a slipper thing. So when I saw these, I originally thought, I bet you they made these with the Asian market in mind, because they would love these sort of shit. Like you just slip them on like slippers and you can have the back be collapsible. But no way are these worth $7. No way are these things worth $7. That is crazy, bro. 700 for this. There's hardly anything there. Yes, they may be like good quality, don't get me wrong, but essentially, what is that? Maybe silk? I think that's nylon. That's suede, if not nubuck, or some sort of velvet on the heel and here near the eyelets and the mudguard type thing. And the sole is so thin, so freaking thin, that they'd wear out so quickly if you had them. So they can't even be like daily shoes because they'd wear out super fast. But they do have a nice bit of like Prada branding right at the front of the toe. Like here, see? They've got this really nice Prada branding where it kind of like, you know, this embossing here that I'm sure people will be fans of. I'm sure that's part of probably the allure of buying something like this. But I also wonder, when it comes to styling of these shoes, they always style them with these really baggy pants. I wonder if they purposely want you to buy like, I don't know, if the shoes are $7, Prada pants must be like $2,000. They want you to buy $2,000 Prada trousers and then have them like drag across the ground, getting scraped up and cut up and shit. Fuck that, man. I'm buying my trousers from Zara. I'm not buying $2,000 Prada trousers to wear with shoes that low to the ground and have them scraping on the ground there. That doesn't make any sense. Like, do you know what I mean? That is a bit of a flex if you can afford it. But Jesus Christ, man, 700. And they couldn't even give me like a little medallion. They couldn't even give me like a little, what's that little nice triangle thing they've got? They've got that logo, that upside down triangle. They couldn't give me like a nice little triangle emblem. They gave me just like this foil print Prada Milano thing on the as a bit of branding. If you're making me pay that, you got to give me at least a little triangle badge here, or at least give me a little red line on the heel, at the back of the heel. There's no red line, right? A little like that little Prada America Cup thing, like here, just so people can see it. Because this is terrible. $7 for this. $7. I want to see what the construction is. What's the construction here? Collapsible Re-nylon and suede elasticated sneaker. Any details? Product details? What's it made up of? This incredibly lightweight sneaker with a, what is it called? With a constructed design made of what's Re-nylon? What is that? What is Re-nylon? What's different to that and regular nylon? Re-nylon is made of what does Re-nylon mean? Prada Re-nylon is made of econ-nili, regenerated yarn that can be recycled. So it's a sustainable nylon, lols, recycled indefinite number of times without affecting the quality of material. Eco-nylon. Eco-nylon yarn is made by recycling discarded plastic collected from landfill sites and oceans across the whole planet. Fuck off, man. So you want me to be sustainable? I have to give you $7. To be sustainable, I have to give you $7. Nah. Yo, Prada are not playing games. This pricing is... I actually wanted these, you know. Prada sporty and artisanal sole. Its flat sole is enriched with elastic on the sides, making it easy to slip on. With laces, screen printed logo on the upper, thin rubber sole, removable leather covered insole. These shoes have undergone an artisan treatment, giving the leather a deliberate vintage look. $7. Let's see, are they sold out or they got all the sizes left? Okay, quite a lot of size. Wow. So the influencer thing worked, innit? They don't have my size even if I wanted. No, they actually do have my size. That's 10.5. But 11 sold out, 11.5 sold out. Everything from 11 to 13 is sold out. Okay. So maybe people are buying them. Fucking hell. Yeah, big up Fashion Road, man. I don't blame you, bro. Please keep roasting these brands. Maybe you keep roasting them is gonna actually help them lower prices so that regular folks like me can purchase these things, or regular folks like us, because 7 bills for slippers. Shit. It's not even 7 bills, 720. Free shipping. Oh, thank you. Thanks, Prada. Free shipping and returns. Thanks. I think I'm owed that at least. Free shipping and returns, you know. Oh, fucking hell. Prada's a joke thing. Anyway, moving on. Another post courtesy of Highsnobiety regarding TikTok. As TikTok is a replacement, as a TikTok replacement, Rednote is okay. For shopping fashion, it's potential goldmine, which is something you see a lot of like Chinese-based apps. They all have some sort of like e-commerce site, store system built into it, ingrained into it really easily. And they work seamlessly well. Sometimes they have their own currency and stuff that you can buy and sell shit on. I know there's like obviously Taobao that I know of, but there's also another version of one that I found the other day where it's people that sell used things from Taobao. I don't know what it's called though. I think the app logo is like yellow, and that's really cool. And you can find other people's stuff on there that they're selling themselves, taking pictures of it, you know, whatever measurements, all that sort of stuff. Talk to them directly through the messaging thing. It's pretty sick, man. So let's check this out. So I think China are actually quite advanced when it comes to social media platforms. Like, they know what the fuck they're doing. Obviously, you know, totalitarian state and shit, but they know what they're doing when it comes to social media apps. Here's the article. As America weighs a potential TikTok ban, users are fleeing to Rednote. As known as Jian Hun Shu, Red Book, as in Mao's little book. Jesus Christ. Mao's little book, you know, that's absolutely incredible. Big up all the Americans, you know, essentially dishonoring their country by jumping on this China back app. It's absolutely crazy. Like TikTok, owned by Beijing-based ByteDance, Shanghai-based that company algorithmically serves its users an endless flow of content. Rednote's viability as a TikTok replacement, TBD. American TikTokers are currently begging for help learning new interface, while Rednote veterans create English language user guides. But Rednote's visibility as an outlet for fashion, especially for shopping secondhand fashion, very promising. One mildly viral TikTok lays it out rather succinctly, pointing out the crucial difference between shopping for clothes on Rednote and TikTok. Let's watch the video.
It's found on Rednote. So I come across this total diva. She's so cute. Are you kidding? So, you know, I'm tip-tapping around. I go to her page and I notice this little tab. It says shop. And I say, is she selling her things? This little video. And she's telling us about her things that she's selling. Now, could you sell your things on TikTok Shop? Because this is tea. Rednote has built-in Depop. I'm gonna be shopping they're already eating us up. I'm shopping the girls' closets on Rednote. You're done.
That's pretty cool, actually, isn't it? I didn't think about that. That's actually pretty cool. That's actually pretty cool. You can go on somebody's profile, a fashion girl, an influencer, and they've got a section. So essentially, they've built in Vinted, Depop into like an Instagram or into a TikTok, which is pretty fucking cool. I think that's why I wonder why even TikTok in general, people like to buy on there more than they buy on Instagram. Maybe it's just a fun, loosey-goosey way that people kind of do content on there. It's not as serious, but that's a really cool addition. TikTok shopping is dominated by a vast array of third-party sellers, proffering low-priced goods, a setup that has earned many comparisons to cheapo everything store Temu. And though it's integrated into TikTok's app, TikTok shopping is itself a standalone platform accessed through a separate tab or links that have direct users to their product. It's a fairly fluid but a little bit clunky. Meanwhile, Rednote, sometimes referred to as China's answer to Instagram, allows users to shop products directly from their profiles, creating a seamless shopping experience in the vein of popular secondhand fashion site Depop. Big up Depop. This is potentially huge upgrade from the comparatively impersonal TikTok shopping experience, and if it's abetted by some impressively stylish outfits from Red Note's regulars to sweeten the deal. Another clip.
Is out of this world. They know how to dress. Like, I'm a fashion girly and I'm like, I'm scared to post because like y'all are on a whole new level, but they're so inspiring. So I'm gonna still post my stuff, but like their fashion is it.
Yo, God bless Americans, but have they not seen Asian people before? Do Americans have Americans not seen anybody outside of their own country? Like, why are they surprised that other people from other places can dress? Why are they surprised? Why are they shocked? Like, what? Especially if you're on like fashion social media, it encompasses everyone around the world. Is it the first time they've actually seen Asian people wearing fancy clothes, wearing designer clothes? Like, that shock is wild, bro. Like, at your big age, you're shocked that Asian people can dress well. Okay. Anyway, I downloaded Red Note to check things out and quickly realized that unfortunately there are a few strings attached. The shopping tab located at the bottom of Red Note's main UI initially looks to be packed with the same sort of generically corporatized stuff you'll find on TikTok shopping. Luxury knockoffs, weirdo collectibles, tiny chunks, or chunk, whatever that word is, all that worryingly low prices. But you can refine your selection at its top. In the fashion section, there was an abundance of similar fare, but also the occasional second-hand goods. I had somewhat better results when searching a specific brand. Solomon, for instance, turned up both retailers offering brand new sneakers and users selling old shoes. It continues. However, I was similarly unmoved when I began searching for folks selling second-hand clothes. Perhaps due to my own incompetence, I cannot read Mandarin, and though you can change the app's language to English, it doesn't auto-translate quite a lot of the text. I was only able to find a couple of users selling things using their profile page shop tab, some of which was vintage, some was brand new. Further, it appears as though only verified shop accounts can list products for sale. You see there's some items someone's got. I also saw some users filling a curate tab with various items already available on Red Note Shop, presumably being hawked for commission. Not exactly in a second-hand bonanza that initial TikTok signaled, but still promising. Whereas the structure of TikTok shopping is set up to encourage third-party sellers offering new product, Red Note appears to offer a framework that allows both that and individual users selling their own wear, though it seems as though one must jump through several hoops to actually list their own products. I wonder if TikTok is going to see all this hype, all this interest in Red Note, and maybe start copying some of their features, even Instagram, because clearly people want that. People are crying because of TikTok maybe potentially going away. Yes, because of the money. Yes, because of the attention, but also because they actually love using the app. The app actually ticks a box that no other social media app can do, which is probably quite hard to do. At the point that they came about, the main players were Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. But TikTok came in, sort of like crowbar their way in, and have basically been able to differentiate themselves from everybody else. They have a unique selling point. They have something that no one else can offer. So maybe adding those extra things can actually go a longer way to separate them from the herd and actually make people to kind of really commit ever more to the app. And if you're Instagram and you want to keep up, maybe introducing these type of things could actually help you keep up with the likes of TikTok. Still, the interface for selling for one's own profile is has serious potential. For instance, though, your own profile page, you can access a For You page primarily populated by goods sold or selected by people whom you follow. Similarly, users who list products can embed Red Note videos into their listings, creating an holistic scrolling experience. That's fucking cool. I love that. So you can actually have an explore section that is shopping stuff but looks like content because the people that are putting it up are selling stuff, wearing it. I love that. That's pretty cool. That is pretty fucking cool. Mass consumerism alert, don't get me wrong, but if you like shopping, this is pretty cool. Their serious promise and loan gives Red Note enough Depop flavor to make it more of a mere TikTok alternative. Although presuming TikTok actually is banned, TikTokers will usually just happy to have what they get. So yeah, as you can see here, screenshots featuring the explore page where you see people wearing the outfits, making it look like it's a feed, but it's actually part of the shop, part of their curation, I guess. That's really cool. Someone should definitely copy this and do it as an English-based app. It probably would do bits. But I guess if the only problem with this type of apps, if you did create your own app like this, if Instagram make this a feature and add it onto what they already have, they kill you instantly. Because, you know, it's just no one wants to make another social media platform. So if Instagram and Depop decide, or Instagram and TikTok decide to implement some of these features, they immediately kill any upstart that's gonna maybe try to copy this fucking platform or try to copy what they have. But it looks pretty cool. It looks fucking pretty cool. So big up everybody out there. I also love the fact that like everybody thought, oh, because TikTok was gonna get banned, that all these Americans are gonna suddenly now have loads of time to touch grass and read books and have walks in the park. And instead, Americans started learning Chinese. That's how bored people are. That's how addicted they are to social media. They're like, okay, cool, you're gonna ban my favorite app? I'm finna learn Chinese. I'm finna learn fucking Chinese because I don't want to read a book. I don't want to learn. I don't want to touch grass. I want to fucking doom scroll. And if I have to doom scroll in Mandarin or Cantonese, so fucking be it. I fucking love it. Big up Red Note. Big up Blood Clot. Red Note. Next on the list, let's talk about Addison Rae. Let's talk about my girl, Addison Rae. Addison Blood Clot Rae. She might be, this Addison Rae girl, on God, she might be the white scissor. When it comes to lying, Addison Rae might be up there with Scissor. She might be comparable to Scissor when it comes to lying. But this actual photo shoot, this cover story, courtesy of Rolling Stone, is actually pretty cool. There are some nice pictures featured here. Some of them are pretty terrible. Actually, the photographs are taken by the legendary fashion photographers Inez and Vinoodh. But some of them are really, really garbage. There's one particular where she's on the stairs lying down that looks fucking awful. And whenever I see these photo shoots or photography from these very established photographers, it always gives me confidence in some of my shitty point and shoot photography that I used to do back in the day. Because if these guys are getting paid hundreds of thousands for these campaigns, for these editorials, and they are regarded as like, elite and regarded as high level, they're regarded as image makers, artists in their own regard, then I too am an artist, because these pictures are so bad, so ordinary, so pretty shitty. Some are nice, like this particular one where she's lying down here with her legs straight, or sitting up straight, was actually pretty decent. This portrait picture is actually quite beautiful, but the cover image of her on the stairs is fucking garbage. The stairs pictures anyway is weird as a prop. I don't know what the fuck that is all about. But the main thing, like this portrait, this actually would have been a much better cover. That's a beautiful picture of Addison Rae. But the really interesting thing to come out of this feature is the questions and answers that she gave to some of these questions were really fucking funny. Actually, even that picture is really actually quite nice. There's quite a lot of good ones, but obviously the cover that they picked was pretty shocking. And I just hate the stairs as a prop. I think it looks fucking naff. I think it looks like something that you'd see a relative of yours take a picture like this on Facebook, You remember those studios back in the day everyone took pictures at, with that circle? There's like a circle thing that girls used to sit on and lie on with the lights. I feel like that's what this looks like. One of those type of shitty photo shoots that people did. Anyways, the thing to come out of this that everybody's talking about, that I want to talk about, are some of her answers to some of these questions, because I absolutely love it. I fucking love it. And I'm going to show you them right now. The first one, Addison Rae denies rumors that she does cocaine to Rolling Stone. I have ADHD. I have a lot of energy and I talk really crazy. That's just who I am. Go on, girl. Lie. Because you don't owe anybody the truth. Really, especially in these type of things. Because I'm a big believer in never explaining, in never clarifying, and never trying to dismiss whatever somebody's opinion is of you. Just let it be, especially if you're an artist, especially if you're creative, especially if you're a public figure. The mystery, the conjecture, the rumors, it all adds, it all helps you. It all helps to kind of prop you up. It helps to kind of increase your legend, helps to fucking add to your mystery, helps to, dare I say, add to your aura. You get me? So the fact that she's saying this is hilarious, because we've seen a drastic change in her personality and attitude. We've also seen her hanging out with legendary bumpers like Charlie XCX, right? Legendary bumpers, well-known bumpers, a person that has sold keys that you can bump with, a person that has songs talking continuously about their love of the cocaina, and they're good friends with hers. And she also has other pop star girlies that she's friends with. We've seen her falling out of clubs, you know, drunk and smashed and having a good time, and looking the way that she does with her friends that she hangs out with, why wouldn't you want to do copious amounts of cocaine? Why wouldn't you? You're at a young age. You were able to pivot from TikTok videos to having a legitimate chance of having an actual pop star career. You might be doing some acting. You were besties with the Kardashians for a while. Now you're in this, like, you know, New York hipster RT phase. You're hanging out with all the cool fucking pop stars. You're besties with Charlie XCX. All this sort of stuff. Of course you're doing some lines at the club. Of course you're doing some bumps in the queue. Of course. We don't expect anything more. But I love the fact that she's lying. I love the fact that she's lying through her teeth, looking you dead in the eye and saying, I have ADHD. Really? Really? And I love that she didn't actually deny the cocaine use. Hey, do you do cocaine? I have ADHD. You didn't say yes or no. I have ADHD. It's like, that's the best bit about this answer. You don't even say no. You just say I have ADHD, which isn't yes, which isn't no. But I'm also not gonna, answer those questions in that kind of way. I'm gonna let you think what you think and kind of go from there. So big up Addison Rae for refusing to answer such an easy question and trying to instead blame ADHD, which, you know, unless you're taking medication for it, if you're self-diagnosed ADHD, it doesn't exist. It's not real. The other thing that I thought was really funny was her answer to this question. Addison Rae tells Rolling Stone that she does not call paparazzi on herself. The quote, do you think if I called the paparazzi, I would look better in all those pictures? Again, not a yes or no. It's a yes or no question. And she says, she didn't say, no, I don't. She just said, hey, if I did call the paparazzi, I'd look way better. And we're like, hold on, Addison Rae. What are you talking about? Most pictures that you take, you do look good because you're a good looking young lady. And most of the paparazzi pictures I've seen of her, it's almost like she's playing up to the camera. You know, that's the funny thing. Most of the pictures I've seen of this girl, paparazzi pictures, it's almost as if she's playing up to the camera. She knows they're outside. So she's wearing a particularly provocative, whatever, fun outfit to kind of, that would also kind of picture well. You don't do those type of things if you don't know the paparazzi are outside waiting for you. So I love how she's making it seem like, nah, I had no idea they were going to be here. I didn't know that. Come on, Addison Rae. You knew, girl. Come on. I fucking love it, though. I absolutely flipping love it. I swear to God, I really do. Anyways, my friends, that's been it. That is the Agostinho Zinga Show episode number 862. I'm going to stop now because I want to do a quick Tazz before I leave. Oh, sorry, a quick random show before I leave. So I'm going to waste no more of your time and leave you right now. Thank you for checking in. Thank you for hanging out. It's been a pleasure, never a chore. I've enjoyed every single minute of this particular show. Today I'm going to do two things. I'm going to have two songs of the day. I'm going to have one song of the day that I'm going to play, and I'm going to have another song of the day that I'm not going to play via YouTube. I'm going to play it only via the audio app. So if you are listening to this particular podcast via the audio app, you may hear my song of the day. You may hear that. You may hear my song of the day, courtesy of the one and only Leon Thomas, called MUTT or MUTT. That'll come in after. But the first song of the day that I'm going to play is by an artist I just discovered today called LUKO. And the song is 1000 Words Part 1 Freestyle. So this is the one I can play because it's on YouTube. And I don't think I'm going to get copyright struck for this particular video. But I'm going to play this video as one of my songs of the day. And then for those of you who are listening to the podcast via the podcast app, you will hear Leon Thomas MUTT playing straight after that particular song that I'm going to be playing now. The Leon Thomas song is this one. It came out a while ago, but it appeared on my shuffle recently and I fucking fell in love with it. Big up Leon Thomas, an incredible R&B voice. Unfortunately, some tickets for him came out today and I completely missed them as well, so I'm gutted about that. But that you'll be hearing later on. So let's play the first song of the day. Two songs for this time. Very, very rare. Two songs for song of the day, courtesy of LUKO. And then I'm going to play MUTT afterwards. But for those of you watching, it'll just fade to black after I play LUKO. So thank you for tuning in. Pleasure to have your company. And I'll see the rest of you people later for the random show. Peace.
Look, with the G's, we don't worry about costs and curse. And a young boy rolling with something absurd. Don't say too much, I infer. This drink on my vision obscured. No type of the summer prefer. Look, I'm in Mayfair with the waiters say, sir, well, my shooter like Curry, I'm Kerr. You went there at the start, then stay as you were. Wanna know if I hit, I told bro as per. Like Vinny, stand up, I don't care about slurs. I don't care how it looks or how it occurs. She the woman in question, but she ain't my bird. I give more than I get like I'm Henry the First. Tryna clear this quick, tryna find me a third. Back then had a few, now I got me a herd. These things were the same, now the lines getting blurred. We don't care about what you heard or what you did. Seen a man say it's facts, it was fibs. I need man now, I'm calling my dibs. On the road so long, I'm on the phone to Migs. We go into a war like the Bay of Pigs. I've been winning so long, now they think it's rigged. I've been Aubrey's with the G's having a swig. I don't say too much, now it is what it is. That's my idea of unspoken vis. They don't know about this life or this life I've lived. Put so much in, I just hope that it gives. I ain't making amends if I burn that bridge. I got bro, what's mine is his. Mars on Nash, who I pulled up with. Pulled up like I don't know what timing is. On a road, blendy, sporting a high vis. I'm up in the States like Aiden Ross. Her back so big, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Wheel. We have to rewind that. He's spitting too much, man. Big up LUKO. Whoever you are, LUKO. Incredible talent. Big up LUKO. Let's rewind that. Rewind that to the beginning. Rewind that. Big up fucking LUKO. Jeez.
Look, with the G's, we don't worry about costs and curse. And a young boy rolling with something absurd. Don't say too much, I infer. This drink on my vision obscured. No type of the summer prefer. Look, I'm in Mayfair with the waiters say, sir, well, my shooter like Curry, I'm Kerr. You went there at the start, then stay as you were. Wanna know if I hit, I told bro as per. Like Vinny, stand up, I don't care about slurs. I don't care how it looks or how it occurs. She the woman in question, but she ain't my bird. I give more than I get like I'm Henry the First. Tryna clear this quick, tryna find me a third. Back then had a few, now I got me a herd. These things were the same, now the lines getting blurred. We don't care about what you heard or what you did. Seen a man say it's facts, it was fibs. I need man now, I'm calling my dibs. On the road so long, I'm on the phone to Migs. We go into a war like the Bay of Pigs. I've been winning so long, now they think it's rigged. I've been Aubrey's with the G's having a swig. I don't say too much, now it is what it is. That's my idea of unspoken vis. They don't know about this life or this life I've lived. Put so much in, I just hope that it gives. I ain't making amends if I burn that bridge. I got bro, what's mine is his. Mars on Nash, who I pulled up with. Pulled up like I don't know what timing is. On a road, blendy, sporting a high vis. I'm up in the States like Aiden Ross. Her back so big, I'm like, oh my gosh. Me and bro like Drake and Josh. With a model, she look like a young Kate Moss. She wanna do goals like David and Posh. It was all games, look, till the game got tossed. It's getting absurd and the game's gone soft. Before I could win, I experienced lost. I know what it's like to be lost. Put on a show in the club like Jonathan Ross. I was on a 159, put myself in a firing line. In regards to the cost, what's pressure? I love being under the cost. Dilute man's ting like it's water and squash. They say that it's luck, but I'm winning that toss. Wherever you go, make sure you're a boss. Times was tough, no peace for the look. Them times it was rough, no peace for the meter. She don't trust me, she think I'm a cheater. I'm hitting it once and I won't keep it. In and out of my house so much, my neighbours think I'm the local dealer. It's my turn, let's like I'm left from the dealer. We more than friends, I got a crush on me. I'm with a Caucasian, not really a type. I'm changing her mind, she like Bieber. Said she in love, but I don't believe her. She didn't before I made her a believer. Said she a vegan, for me she a eater. They say she the catch, I'm a keeper. I'm in a box, I'm like Leroy Lita. It's funny how they all wanna know now they're eager. South of the water, it's deeper. With a golden ting, she's looking like Rita. I call her my queen or Latifah. She in my L, I go deeper. I don't get touched, tight, I play sweeper. Told bro, leave her, it's cheaper. Why on her nose, cause clean. She don't like outside, call me neither. I'm with two things and I don't mind either. I'm not a people pleaser. She want it all, she a diva. Got in it once, she got baby fever. I'm with a thing that resemble Janae in a whip. Head back, got me playing sativa. Let's take a trip to Geneva. Shorts and vest, John Cena. This the revealer, this the she don't like outside, call me neither. I'm with two things and I don't mind either. I'm not a people pleaser. She want it all, she a diva. Got in it once, she got baby fever. I'm with a thing that resemble Janae in a whip. Head back, got me playing sativa. Let's take a trip to Geneva. Shorts and vest, John Cena. This the revealer, this the decider. Look, I don't snap, but I'll snap to remind her. I'm a big dog, do it major, not minor. With a blazing, so I call her Black China. She want a trick, she want a provider. I'm my air to the ground like I'm in a low rider. I'm in the middle like Wesley Snyder. She got a friend and I'm turning provider. Still my game, I'm an A-class grinder. My pen game crazy, don't need a ghostwriter. I put on my song and they bring out a lighter. Look.